Okay. Volume thing, turn it off. Where is
You know what
that?
at the bottom of you're at the bottom of our screen on the YouTube. It's where you can pause or play, and then it has the speaker. You turn the speaker off so that you don't have double sound.
Right, got
Do
you.
it right now. Okay. Hello.
Hi, you guys. Oh my God, I'm so excited. There's so many people in here. This is exciting. Thank you guys so much for coming. Claire and I are so excited. And I just want to read this little tiny piece here because as we sort of all know, Claire is famous in our little community here.
Famous? Wait. I'm just a bear. Don't start with
she's many different kinds of bears. Okay. And she's known as, I mean, to me, at least, as the voice of reason is what I like to say. She's joined me on other lives back in the 3 months, the good old days where it wasn't such a good memory, but she was there always, kind of coaxing me along. She's a very dear friend. You guys, she's loved by everyone. I mean, that's a testament to who she is. So I'm so happy to have her here. And also, well, there is somebody that has another name for you.
They do?
Yeah, Lacey.
Oh gosh, are you good?
You don't have to say it if you don't have to say it if you don't want to, but it's so funny.
Well, cat's out of the bag, otter's out of the bag now. I might as well. It is being leaked because these two will not let it go. But Lacey calls me the mobster's librarian, and that's it. That's all I'm saying about it. You can make all the stories you want about it. Let that fly through Twitter. I need subs anyway. Go ahead, let the rumor mill start, let's see what happens. I don't know. But basically, it's just because I keep my lips sealed and I know where the bodies are buried.
She does, and she does not leak a peep of it. So we like that. And we're just going to kind of, well, first, we're avatars today. Mine has it's not edited very well. Don't roast me for it. But I do have double horns. I'm kind of excited about that. And Claire has her little bear ears. Yes, they're bear ears. They're not cat ears.
Yeah. Get off the ears.
Whatever came for her. Yeah. But it's kind of fun to try something different, be able to pay attention to things and not be, criticizing myself or thinking other people are whatever, just insecurity stuff. So this is very freeing for sure. All right.
It's freeing, isn't it? Maybe our voices will get heard instead of picking on, well, they'll pick on ears, but maybe the conversation will be the important part, which would be nice.
It's true. That's the goal. Okay. So let's talk about, I guess we're going to start. So you guys, we have a lot of stuff to go over for this whole live. It's a lot, and getting into discussion and opinions and theories and all of these kinds of things, it's going to be a long time. We're hoping to keep it under an hour and a half, right, Claire?
Yeah, we're going to do our best. We're going to do our best to, there's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Because everything's muddy. Everything is muddy. There's so much to cover. Because it just kept getting worse as we went. But.
Yeah, so much muddy. Okay. So, and what a great title, right? So, the waters are being muddied by
everyone,
right? So not just the defendant, but also perhaps the attorneys, and you guys can kind of go over how you feel about that stuff. All right, so outline. So here's what we're going to do. Let's start with the phone hearing, just because, and I don't know the date, but I bet you Claire does.
February 2nd, 2021.
Years, of course. Look how fast she is. She is a dictionary. I mean, you're the best at keeping records. It's insane. All right.
Dropped it for you if you'd like to put it up.
Of course you did. It's already in the Discord. God, you're so perfect. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's so annoying. I know.
So, no, it's so damn helpful. So, so I happened to get lucky and got on the call. I didn't even try. I was like, whatever, there's a code. I don't care. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll just try. And I got in, and here's why it was interesting, and it's more than what you're reading on the minutes that you have those somewhere, I'm sure, right? Is that what you just sent me?
Yes.
Sorry. So when you listen to something, tone can't be conveyed in text form very well, right? That's why a lot of us misinterpret texts that we get from people. And it's like, what did you mean by that? So it's helpful to have someone repeat things that they heard because the tone can be conveyed. So, and I'll tell you, for instance, okay. When I heard, I'm sorry, guys, I'm going through my notes. The judges, here we go. It's on the other side of the screen. Thanks. Okay. So, all right. So Rothstein, here's how I feel about it. Rothstein is the judge. I really feel like she's the perfect judge to hear the case. And here's why. She has written a book that Claire's going to kind of discuss because she's read it, of course. She got it and read it in like 24 hours, and I was like, "Damn you, you're so good."
Dork alert.
She's written a book on preserving electronic evidence in regards to the internet and dealing with different cases, managing discovery while evaluating electronic information, and she has pointed out last night at literally the 11th hour to say, check out page 48. And I did some really terrible highlighting that you guys will get to see in a second here, because this will give you a good indication of why this judge is so well fit for this case. And how in the hell do I bring that MFR up?
What the phone call?
Page 40. Let's bring. You want to go start from? Okay, yeah. Sorry. All right. Yeah. Get my ADD in check. All right. So
just put up the one that's down the bottom first. That one up first.
Okay.
I want to talk about the room. You just mentioned tone, right?
Yeah.
So I think everyone is aware that during that phone conversation, and if you've seen the transcript or any of the videos that many in the community have done, some great videos by a lot of creators on YouTube. But if you weren't in the phone call, you didn't hear the tone. And as Karma has just said, that this is the right judge, because basically this judge, she's like, no, but like she didn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear them going at each other back and forth and this filing back and forth. And basically the whole tone of the conversation was she didn't care who did what to who. She literally sent the boys to their room and said, stop. Like, that's it. You're all on a timeout. Like, stop. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, that's the tone I was getting. And I was curious after that. And that's when the small book or pamphlet that she did with a couple of other judges based on electronic, the submission and accuracy of electronic evidence was what, because all this is about like, Twitter back and forth and YouTube and emails and everything. It's all electronic submissions. And she has some strong opinions about that. Like what's accurate, what's not, how to verify it, what's proved, what you should actually be submitting to her. And what I got from the phone call is that she's not really happy with all of this stuff going back and forth and what she's getting. I mean, she just told him to stop, just stop it. She didn't really care. Is that what you got, Heather?
Yeah, you know what? I was, definitely. So going among those lines with tone, I'm bringing up the document itself right now, and I've highlighted. I'm just trying to figure out how to show it. So forgive me, you guys.
Do you want a different page? It's up. Do you want a different page or?
Yeah, a different one. I want to do the highlighted one just so I know what I'm going to read, because it's like, let's just go to page 48. Or actually, you're doing the phone call. The transcript, that's okay. I'm just going to say, here's a general overlay of how I feel it went down. All right.
Yeah, drop that. I've got the other for you right now.
Okay. Oh, you're the best. So here's my overall take. She seems very fair. Her tone was somewhat soft. I don't know how old she is. Not that totally matters, but she sounded like, she was a little bit older, and kind of this soft tone, but she was very assertive. Which was kind of equals each other out, and gives us that hearing was a good indication of how she's going to rule on other things and where things are going to go. She did scold Saltz, and she did for using Twitter beyond finding witnesses, is what she said, because he did say that he was trying to ask or find witnesses, and he only asks questions, which is true. She didn't like that at one point, saying that his argument was that the defendant was also, he said the defendant is also constantly tweeting, it's not just me. But he's an attorney, and the judge reminded both he and Brown to take care of, their personal pissing contest, squabble, whatever you want to call it, before it becomes public, so behind the scenes. And I believe she also ruled that day that they need to, talk to each other, and then it needs to be reviewed. Any declaration needs to be reviewed by her and both attorneys before it's just shown. So, for instance, Lorianne, we all know she gave that declaration. It's heartbreaking, right. And now it's extremely confusing because she's flip-flopping, and that's probably due to mental illness, in my opinion. Allegedly, we don't know, but I think, in my opinion, Brown got a little bit irked when she flipped and went to assaults. And he threw a little bit of a tantrum.
Oh, a little bit of a tantrum? Yeah. It's like pot kettle. That's aggressive. When you bring that up, that's just like brings in the whole thing with the recent filings, and the fact that anything that he's accusing one side of, he's just mad he didn't get to do, because it's the same thing. I mean, I'm just looking at it as a person. Because
it's true. I mean,
like 80 emails and 2 weeks worth of conversations with a witness. And now he's saying it was unfair what the other attorney did, just because in 11 hours he did the same thing and turned her and he got the signature.
Right.
So, but now it does look a little bit, like you said, it looks a little bit more personal.
Right, it does. Yeah, it does.
With the back and forth. I have dropped down for you page 42 that you highlighted from our room, if you wanted to bring it up.
Oh, you're the best. Okay. It's highlighted. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's yours. It's the one you highlighted that you wanted to go over.
Okay, perfect. You're the best. All right, I'm going to put it over here. Hold on. You know what I'm going to do? Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second.
All you have to do is say share screen down the bottom.
Oh, you know what? I added it a different way, but that's okay.
Okay.
All right. So, that's itty bitty writing. Is there a way to make this bigger?
Let me just see.
Sorry, you guys. You know what I'll do is I'll open it and this is what it says. This is what I highlighted. All right. So this is page 48 from
you know what? I could put the other one up and you can just read it from your highlighted copy. Would that be better?
Yeah, no, that's okay. Well, yeah. However the viewers can see it would be awesome.
Okay. They just won't see the highlight. You'll have to read from your.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. I'll remove that one. And then, but how do I add? Okay.
No, I got it. I'll remove it and then just put the other one up and you go there and put it on the right page.
So the reason, this is a real gem, you guys. I mean, the reason that this is so pertinent and really is relevant to what's going on in the case is because the judge is savvy when it comes to the internet and tech stuff in general. I mean, she wrote a damn book on it. So
you could just pop it up now. It's on page 40. Is that big enough for you now?
I can see it on my other screen, but I just want to make sure everyone else can see it.
Let's see what they're saying. Well, you might not be able to read the words, but Carmen's going to go over the highlighted parts for you. The important part is that we're taking it right from the judge's book or pamphlet. I keep calling it a book, but it's only 64 pages.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I think it is like a book if you've ever tried to read legalese written by 4 judges at the same time. Like it's a historical novel.
It's not an easy read. That's for damn sure. Okay, so what I have highlighted here. All right, so this is page 48. Oh shit! Why do I have?
No,
42?
It's 42.
Oh, it's 42. All right. So it says early on in the case, particularly where there is an identified risk that is potentially relevant to ESI, which is electronic something information. will be lost. Judge should urge the parties to discuss and reach agreement on preservation. And then I have, okay, so an agreement on what categories or sources of ESI will be preserved minimizes the risk that relevant evidence will be deliberately or inadvertently destroyed. Remind you of anybody? Before it has been deleted or removed from active online data, and helps protect the producing party from later spoliation allegations. Mm-hmm. So in let's see, it's so tiny. In crafting the order, judge needs to learn from the responding party what data management systems are routinely used. So in other words, I guess what she typically uses on a daily, like Twitter or that sort of thing. Why are you deleting shit if you're constantly on there? What was your takeaway?
Well, my first takeaway is that they have not had this conference yet that this judge seems to believe is standard procedure, and they should already have had. We've already had documents going back and forth of the accusing of getting rid of evidence, and you deleted this and you should have preserved that. Granted, when they filed, Michael Schultz did have in there, the first filing did have in there that they should secure evidence. And what evidence they were talking about, just basically all social media and YouTube and, everything in general. They did not have a conference yet. I mean, as far as we're aware, the two lawyers have not really gotten together and did all this stuff and talked about how they'll be submitting their electronic evidence and what they'll be looking for. We haven't got that far yet. And there's already a problem because it's already all muddied up. I mean, that's the title of the stream. This case is so muddied up right now with all the stuff going back and forth that just this judge's perception right now of what she believes should be happening in a case like this, it's all over the place. It's like all in the circular file. That's the impression I get. She's saying that they should have been talking, they should have been deciding who will secure what information, how it'll be presented, blah, blah, blah. Now, maybe that's coming down the pipe because granted, they're at a stall because of jurisdiction right now, which is the other part. So they probably haven't been able to get together and have this necessary agreement and discussion, but they're too busy arguing with each other about who's doing what. Like, I don't even know how this conference is going to happen and who will be in this conference. Like, will they have to, will the two Michaels have to be eliminated and like other people step in to have that conference? Like, I don't know.
And they're great questions. I was going to do this at the end of the stream, but I'm just like hard pressed to get everything in. I did ask an attorney certain questions that would pertain to this case or are relevant to this case, but not specific to the case. So, for example, where are they? Let's see. Should I do what's relevant to the topic? Let's see here. One of the issues, I'm going to kind of go off script here for a sec. One of the questions that I had asked was I initially started to research the laws in Washington versus Minnesota. We're in California. I can't ask really a lot of our attorneys about this, but nothing really stood out for me. So I was kind of wondering why it would be more favorable to try the case in Washington versus Minnesota. And it's not that it's necessarily more favorable to try the case in Washington because the laws apparently in Minnesota would be far worse for KJ. Minnesota has punitive damages and Washington does not. So that kind of, go ahead.
And by punitive, you mean like the damages they can put on top of the up to $5 million for the defamation? Right. Like that could get doubled or tripled or whatever.
Gosh, I mean, it can, be.
That's what you mean. But well, that doesn't sound very good. I mean, and also I believe when we were looking, also if it gets moved to Minnesota, if anything does come about all this hacking and threatening and things like that, aren't there stricter laws about cyberbullying and hacking and criminal internet criminality in general in Minnesota than there are? I mean,
Claire, you got to brief me on this shit before. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
I thought
kidding.
I'm sorry.
I don't know, but she's like, you'd be a really good lawyer. It's like, don't ask questions that you don't already know the answer to, right?
It's
I
true.
don't know that answer,
It's true.
but
I'm not asking. I'm just saying I think I read that. And I'm saying that's my
Yeah,
opinion,
believe you.
not Heather's, not Karma's, nobody else's. That's just me. It's just me, just something I read,
That's interesting though. I didn't even think of that. So good
yeah,
on you.
it's really baffling to me. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out why they want to put it back to where into Minnesota.
Right.
To file there, and why, unless it's just a delay, the only thing I can come up with is that it is an easy way to delay a case and give yourself more time to prepare and do stuff by arguing back and forth about this. But it's really not cost effective, and it's really not doing a lot.
What good attorneys will do, is always push things off. I was talking to Joe about this last night. I'm like, what is in talking about, pushing it off, and whether jurisdiction is Washington or Minnesota, or wherever, that's what good attorneys do, is they push it off until hopefully the person, the other party wants to settle, or it's just, they're over it anyway. They're going to refile in Minnesota. So it does not matter it matters, but if jurisdiction is ruled on against Tati, then, they'll refile in Minnesota. So yeah, delay technique, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there are other theories for that.
Yeah, I just feel that it's just a delay because it's definitely going to be refiled. They're very serious about this. If you look at all the documentation and the declarations from Tati and her husband, Mr. Westbrook himself, that they're very serious about this. So it's not going to just go away with the delay, I mean, and that's all, that's.
Yep. So
Exactly.
He's definitely, and I'm sure he'll be assisting in whatever happens in Minnesota. So, and we'll get into the theories later, because, everyone's got one.
We all, yes.
It's like, what do they say? It's like assholes. We've all got one. And I mean, I respect all of them. We don't know. This is a thing about putting your life into the government's hands. You don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does.
Nope.
The attorneys don't. We don't know if it depends on, who is this judge? And that's kind of why we wanted to go into this. What is this book she wrote? How is it relevant to the case? Because we don't know what's going to happen. What if she has a bad day, or things seem like a slam dunk? It sometimes just isn't. I don't know why that's so loud. Sorry, guys. Okay, so let's see. Hold on a second. Sorry, I have like a million things up right now. Okay, here we go. All right, so and we can kind of get into the details of this stuff later. So recently, let's talk about Brown's motion for sanctions against Salts and for damages.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah, and apparently it's directly related to Lori Ann's declaration. So and lawyers do love to use this term, demonstrably. It's demonstrably false. And that's what Brown has said, and warns, and he did warn of the next motion that he did after that for Rule 11, which was denied. And apparently because it's been abolished, I don't know, since 2012. So that's a whole nother issue. How do you feel about that one, Claire?
Well, explaining what is it? Is it section 11? Are we talking about, or
Rule 11? Because
Rule 11, that makes anyone who pushes forward the information or the declaration or whatever they're submitting, the signature person, responsible for what the other person says. So basically, if Lori is lying about everything in that declaration, and the plaintiff's attorney, Mr. Salts, does not, it's being held responsible for that. They're saying she's lying, and and Mr. Salts should have known about it, and that makes him responsible and sanctionable because it's just all lies. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Just in layman's terms, because you get to all these legal whatever and ever. Just because he's the attorney and he put it forward, he's signing off on it. and that gets kind of dicey because witnesses lie. I mean, I watch a lot of mob movies. This isn't, this is
Oh, come on,
they lie all the time. If every and that brought me up to what I said before, that here the opposing, the defendant's attorney, Mr. Brown, spent 80 emails in 2 weeks or 3 weeks talking to Lori Barnhart back and forth. And if he didn't consider her a liar or anything about then, or had no question about her integrity of a witness then, how come all of a sudden when she goes to the opposing side, all of a sudden it's just like, you can't believe her. You can't talk to her. You got to throw all this out. I just can't wrap my brain around that one.
That's the funniest thing is they go back and forth, back and forth. It's like, it's almost like he's just, like I said, a pissing contest, and he's pissed that Lorianne has gone to Saul's, and we know that she's sort of a flip-flopper, and that may be due to mental illness and that sort of thing. I am glad that they're sealing the rest of, her records. However, Brown does mention medication and other things. Right. It's like this dig that,
it seems too personal. I don't know how anyone else feels about it, but I hope that everyone's sitting down while they're watching this, or you don't have anything breakable in your hand. Cause I'm going to make a statement here, and it might shock you a little bit. At this point in the game, lawyer to lawyer going back, I really feel bad for KJP, and don't come at me. Stay the heck out of my DMs, people. There'll be no talking about the cat ears. There'll be no talking about this. Okay. I will not answer you, because here's my statement on it.
Did you take your meds today yet?
Yeah. I know. I should have.
No, I love that you have a differing opinion. I love that. I don't ever want to be on the same side.
I'm on just this one issue. I mean, there are so many issues, but just in this case, and let me explain, because I don't want to shock you, Heather. I'm glad you were sitting down. But
is good. Yes.
I really believe that this sounds so personal, him coming, Mr. Brown coming after Mr. Saltz for these sanctions because of this witness flipping thing. And it's such a waste of money. And when you get down to the fact, and here, like, I have to bring up something we haven't even said yet. So I'm sorry, Heather, to make my statement, I have to bring up the fact that Mr. Brown didn't even know that you cannot even file to shorten the response period in this court, in this evidence. He didn't even know that he just submitted something that the judge wouldn't even look at or do. And I'm not talking about the sanctions. I'm talking about his request to shorten the time for response, because he wants to shorten the time for response because the judge may do her opinion on jurisdiction before he gets to get an opinion on the sanctions that he's requesting, because he wants, he feels that she's involved with that, and she's aware of all of that, and he wants that all done before she decides on jurisdiction, just in case it gets kicked. So it's like, do what I want. Before you decide you're not doing anything. Oh, and by the way, my motion wasn't even vetted. Like, I don't even know how you can charge what you charge, and you don't even know that the court you're filing in, that you can't even do that.
Like, do you have a paralegal? Do you have anybody that
and then brag about $450 an hour, and that wasn't vetted, and the judge just got to go boop, abolish, abolish, because it's on the books. This is how we do it here. Like, where are you from?
It was the shortest. Hey, will you bring that one up? Just because I don't know how the hell.
Oh, sure. Just kick this one off. I'll go get it.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, okay. Yes, kick this one off. Like, it's so fucking easy. Just kidding. I don't know where the hell I am. You guys, I have 3 screens. My husband did that purposefully, so I didn't show like personal stuff. He's like, that screen is dedicated just to stuff people see. So I don't know. I hope I don't screw the rules up here.
No, just dump that screen. I'll get rid of it, and then I will bring up it from the room myself. So you can't. You just drop that screen. Okay, never mind. I'll do it. I got it.
Thank you. We got 2 drivers in the driver's seat. Thank God.
Actually, it's pretty dangerous to have 2 drivers. I mean, there's a gas pedal, there's a brake. Pick a pedal.
We're on the same page for the most part. So we might hit a wall, but who knows? You never know. Hey, Claire.
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
My pajamas.
So am I. Hi. No, you're like, creepy. No, the reason is because I'm looking at our emojis and I'm like, this is hilarious. This is actually brilliant. She's like, do the little emoji thing. I'm in my pajamas. Thank God you guys can't see me because I look like a corpse. But I just had to do that because I'm like the whole, what is it? ASMR?
Yeah. Oh, that's nice though. You do those. I listened
No,
to some of
hell
those.
no, it creeps me out. I'm good on that, but it's just funny. I'm like, let's just see what Claire's, what are you wearing, Claire? All right, wait, are you
Can you
bringing, oh, I
pop
got it.
it up? There you go.
There it is. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So at four, let's see what at four. Okay. It's 41.9 hours, I believe, at 450 an hour, comes out to approximately 19 grand. And for fees related to filings. So he's claiming that Saltz is acting in bad faith. So it's not just sanctions for money. It's also, something that would leave a mark on him and he'd have to probably report himself to the bar association. I don't know how far that would go. But, apparently Brown is claiming that Saltz is acting in bad faith and possibly driving charges up for the defendant. I don't know. Do I think he's aggressive? Maybe. But I also know a good attorney will do what they can for their client. Do I think the dude's a dick? Yeah. Saltz tried, I do. Saltz tried to work with him prior to that first hearing on the phone. And he just wouldn't be civil or reasonable. So, and you guys have to remember, KJ is used to being in control. She may be driving this ship, so to speak. And the attorney only knows what their client tells them. I can't tell you how many people in our office, how many clients delete social media, private everything. No one can see you walking around with all this heavy stuff. You have a PI case. Right. Do they listen? No. And they're like, well, yeah, I had this one minor thing. No, you have to be honest with your attorney. And she made, we know how she is. So you got to keep that sort of, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that I do believe that office, someone in that office, granted, attorneys are very, very busy. They don't get to vet all of their submissions and stuff like that themselves, but there must be a paralegal or a secretary or somebody involved that should have vetted this before it got submitted. And I know there's a lot of talk also about like the judge has has guidelines on how she wants things submitted, and this side, unfortunately, the defendant's side has routinely violated those in page number and line submission. And
okay. Wait,
all of that stuff. That's a little thing. That's a little thing. But then when you do this, like this, where you actually submit something that's invalid, completely invalid. It's a waste of everybody's time.
I have to, just since you brought that up, I cannot believe in the 5 pages of notes that are staring me down right now, I didn't put this in there. I have to tell you guys how, obviously, you know what team I'm on, but in an effort to be unbiased and try, to be objective, I just, wait, I can't bring this thing up. Shit. Sorry, go ahead. Keep talking, Claire. I have one thing. Ooh. Oh no. Okay. Sorry guys. Okay. So in an effort, to be sort of middle of the road, I gotta say, I think it's petty. Okay. I think it's petty to complain about line spacing and things like that. Let other creators who I am very fond of, attorneys that report on this case. I agree, with a lot of what they say. However, let's have some points against this guy for things that he's actually, that matter. Line spacing, I don't know. I'm not on board.
I just think on its own, it's not a big issue. I would just like to say that she did bring it up twice, the judge already, about that. And that also...
did she?
Yeah, she did. She actually submitted it in the history. What? If you go into Pacer and down the bottom, like she made the clerk put that in there.
Nice.
So in the big scheme of things, it's not really important. It's really just annoying, whatever. But then you add all this other stuff with 2 lawyers going at each other, in a bit of a personal conflict. which I'm not saying they have one. I'm just saying that's what it appears like to
Right.
just us lay people out here watching. I'm just watching papers fly back and forth, and it does seem a bit personal at this point. And then you get something like this where they didn't even vet the time, this motion to move up the time frame for an opinion on something. It just, the judge may just start to feel that the plaintiff's side isn't taking her a bit serious. I don't know.
Yeah, it could.
And then you add that booklet that she put out about electronic submission, and now there's already deletion about it. Like, I just don't think they're doing themselves a lot of justice here. Like,
I agree with you 100%. That's why it's so important to get to know the characters, the judge, the attorneys.
Exactly.
What is the master plan?
You can't read a room if you don't know who's sitting in there. Like,
right, exactly. That's fine. I just feel like, in my mind, and this will go into something kind of not controversial. I shouldn't just say that right off the bat, but we are going to discuss like the community divide and people's thoughts on how the case is going, perhaps how the attorneys are performing, the hacking, that sort of thing. So just to kind of go into that, I have questioned both sides to myself in my head. I do it probably on a daily basis, as we should, as critical thinkers, and we have a brain. I mean, if you're not questioning things, there's nothing wrong with questioning things. You should always question. But I have to believe that he does have Saltz. I'm talking about. I believe Michael Saltz has a master plan, so to speak. There's got to be, and it could. I have many theories. I'm not going to share just yet here, but you guys have to know that we are only privy to what they want us to know.
Exactly.
And we know, maybe we don't know that, because a lot of the arguments were, we don't know if the hacking has ever been successful. I don't know what the laws are, regarding hacking, but I don't think that you necessarily have to be successful. And I also know that you probably don't have to be the one doing it to be accused of, conspiring to commit a felonious act, so to speak. So
exactly. And on that note, what that has done, all of the divide, whether and all of this hacking and the threats and everything, has really led to part of the title of this stream is the muddied waters. Right. For whatever reason that this is going on, and we all have opinions on it. And granted, everyone is entitled to do their streams and talk about it and voice their opinions, make their Twitter statements, and do their YouTube thing. And granted, I never tell anybody not to do that. What I would say is to err on the side of caution a little bit, because of the damage that can get done. We're looking at such muddy water right now. Nobody knows heads up. Nobody knows who to trust. Nobody knows this, that, the other thing, whatever. Have your opinions, but let's not cause any damage. I mean, there are those aren't just witnesses we're talking about. Those are people, okay? Human beings. And from what I'm reading in the declarations, they have issues. Yeah. And, I don't mean to sound judgy, y'all. So don't, again, please stay out of the DMs. Like,
no, we want to show all sides. That's
just
good.
A person with an opinion here. And I'm not coming against anyone. I'm not saying, who, what, where, what, why, when, anything like that. It's just a broad statement that these are people that are involved. The people on Twitter that are getting attacked, the people on YouTube that are getting attacked. I know creators that are getting attacked. I know just personal friends that are getting attacked. I know strangers that I'm watching get ripped up on Twitter about this. And to me, it's bothersome to me. It contributes to all this muddy waters, and we're not, whatever side you're on, you may think you're on the plaintiff side or you're on the defendant side. All of this is just making it so muddy that everybody's getting hurt. The case itself and the work of professionals is being damaged by this.
Yeah, right. And
how are we going to find the truth if you just keep burying it and burying it and burying it in this stuff?
exactly. It becomes, they're getting lost in the minutia. And then of course we are, and everybody is so, it's almost like we're brats going, there's a KJ term. Like, it's almost like we're bratty going, I want instant gratification right now. I'm used to seeing this play out on social media. And so therefore, like, give me the fucking meat right now. Well, we don't know. I mean, dude, the FBI is involved.
Exactly. I'm like
other government. Yeah. There's other government institutions that may get involved, other attorneys that may get involved on a federal level. We have to wait and see what is had. And I guarantee you, nobody, no matter what their connection is, knows all of it. So we could read into tweets, we could read into what people are posting if they maybe know somebody, blah, blah. But I mean, the truth is we got to see how this shit plays out, and we can't, you don't want to disparage anybody's name or career.
So, be a little cautious. Right. Also, buckle up, people, because this case could go on 2 years easy, like 2-3 years easy. Like, this is a long haul. Like,
it's going to be a long haul.
We're all going to be together for quite a long time if you plan on following this. So let's just all play nice together and get along. And, I'm not saying it's kumbaya, because that doesn't exist. I'm not fake bear. I'm Claire Bear. It doesn't exist. I get it. But like, let's have a little respect. Let's take a step back. Let's realize they're people and treat them accordingly. Don't be,
Here's the thing, is like, I learned this thing. I swear to God, this is so embarrassing. But once I downloaded TikTok, I'm like, dude, I've learned more on TikTok than I ever have in college and everything combined. There's this guy who said something so simplistic, but really it just was when we're debating someone or having a disagreement on a certain issue. It isn't personal. It's not about what you believe versus myself. It's the thing. It's the thing. So direct your anger towards the thing, which is the subject, and not so much each other, because after all, we are here for the same damn reason. We're on the same team. Exactly. It's like Republicans and Democrats. We're all Americans. Like, let's just, we're on the same team. Question things, but try to remember that we don't know everything. I was going to try and read some comments if you don't care.
There's a couple, like there's questions.
There's some good ones. There's Charlotte here. Hi, you guys. I feel terrible because I haven't even said.
I'm sure they understand, Charlotte. Charlotte's here, and there's quite a few other creators here. You see Cheshire.
Hey, Tash is here, yay! And all of you guys.
I haven't gone back to see the beginning. Dina was here. There's quite a few creators who I'm very happy to see. I hope you all understand. We truly appreciate all of your support. It's just hard to keep up with the chat.
It really is.
You'll understand that from my first live. I was a big fail on chat with my first live, but we're getting better. There is a question I do want to address. Some are saying, like, is the case actually being heard? When witnesses are challenged, and actually being accused in public of actually being the hackers or knowing the hackers or doing all of this, yes, because that was a filed motion with the court, and so it's part of the case. So yes, that's damaging. That's my answer to that. When filings are challenged because of all of this, yes, it does get damaged. Yeah, it does hurt, because that witness may decide not to be a part of it anymore. Don't forget, we're not to depositions. We're not to the actual case, the meat of the case itself. This is all the beginning. We're still in jurisdiction.
I know.
We don't even know if we have a case, if we're going to be honest right now. So it does hurt it. It's delaying it. It's hurting it. It's making witnesses. It's making other people that may be witnesses that we don't know about yet maybe taking a second look. There's a lot about it that it's bigger than that. Okay. Maybe if you make a statement, your direct statement hasn't hurt that case directly, but indirectly, yes, it has. Can't deny that. Okay.
Yeah, we're not worried about anyone's feelings. They're all big boys. They can handle it. But you shouldn't not question things. I've done it, guys. I do it every day. I'm like, well, what? I don't understand. We're not in a James Bond film. Like what? Like hacking on this level? I don't get it. But you know what? I do know that it's happening. It is happening. We don't know yet exactly who it is, but I will theorize something. I hope I don't. No, I'm not going to regret.
Are you going to stop me? I'm
You won't be shocked. You might be shocked I'm saying it, but you won't be shocked because, yeah, you're on the same page, I think. Let's just say hypothetically, okay? Let's say hypothetically that you have this girl who's morbidly jealous. Hashtag morbidly jealous for Charlotte. She came up with this, on her stream for Katie because she's insanely jealous. Let's say there's this woman who's so jealous of anybody who's more successful than her, and she decides that when she's being sued for defaming someone, she decides, she decides that she's going to take an easy road, which is doing something that might be considered illegal. Does this person necessarily have to have the skills to do such a thing? Perhaps it's people that they employ or their company employs. Perhaps it could be just someone in a small circle, and this person has a really small circle because her attitude is kind of off-putting, and there's not really friends or family in the mix. So there are all kinds of options. You guys got to remember, there are a lot of different things that are involved in the hacking thing. Mm-hmm. If it were a company, it's somebody that has to be paid. Mm-hmm. And that can be tracked, hopefully. And, people who are savvy enough to be able to do something like that on their own may try to do that. They may not. Maybe I'm totally wrong. This is a hypothetical, right?
Well, I think we could agree on one part of that. And that's one thing I've been stuck on. And the reason we titled the stream this way is that what it definitely is doing, all these threats and these hacks, it is muddying the water. And it goes right back to the submission of electronic evidence and how that has to be verified, and the way that the judges thinking on that based on the book that I just read, and how she believes it's the judge's responsibility to make sure that all ESI, which is electronically submitted information, is verified in some way. If you have hackers going into accounts willy-nilly and taking control of them, how can you say that anybody that put out a tweet or an email that it was from them? Like, this is bigger. This is muddied water. When people say that this doesn't affect the case, it definitely does.
And I've questioned it.
Yeah, it is. Like, it affects the ESI and the verification of that, like submitting verified document. You can just take a snapshot of a tweet. That's not necessarily submissible in the way that it is, depending on how that evidence conference goes that they should have in the future.
Yeah, and they will. I think first what we'll get is in such grade points. I mean, we just don't know. That's the bottom line. We don't know all the information, but trust me, don't trust me on this. But in my mind, when there's smoke, there's fire usually. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, and there's more than one fire, in my opinion. I don't know if you feel this way, Karma. I feel there's more than one fire. There are the original intended group of hackers and threateners, and that group. Then there is another group that just decided to use it to attack certain people just then. And then there's the fringe ones who are doing it just because it's fun. Right. So, like, there's so many people involved right now. There's so much mud. Like, did you? Yes, exactly. I actually should just put up the otter. I actually have an otter that's just
a damn otter.
That is just covered head to toe in mud. I can't even see our way out of this one. It's a necessity. We're never going to know exactly everyone who's involved.
No, and that could be. And I don't know. I think, we all want this instant gratification. I mean, that's our whole, being on social media. It's like, we're like, give it to me now. Like, I want the information now. We got to wait. This stuff is being investigated and so forth. Are you putting up the otter? Are you really?
Do you want the otter? Oh, I'll get the otter.
I thought it would be so cute. And you guys,
courtesy of our friend, it's just Chastity sent us.
Oh, she's a
otter that is full of mud, and it just explains exactly how I feel about this whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's perfect. It's like, if I might even just make it my new.
So cute.
I had to go back in. I'm sorry.
There's just while you're doing that, that's okay. While you're doing that, so I had kind of this outline, and I'm jumping all over the place because that's what my brain does, because I'm a lovely person who suffers from ADD too. It's just so much
You're
fun.
doing great. Don't be hard on yourself.
Oh,
You're doing
thank you, Claire.
fantastic.
Yeah, see, this is why she's the best. Yeah, so let's see. I don't even know. I'm looking at my notes. Where were we at? So the community divide, and we do have some fun stuff. Just so you know, if you stick around, like there's going to be some fun stuff at the end. But oh, you know what? Actually, how about I read the rest of my questions to the attorney real quick? We'll just
do
get
that.
that
Well, pop
okay.
that otter up there, and we'll do that with the otter. So I'm happy there.
Okay, I'm not going to put it up because it has like other stuff that I probably shouldn't put.
No, put the otter up because then you can talk
Oh,
about anything you want.
Okay.
Yeah, if we put the otter up, you see him down there, just pop it.
I am not to be trusted in the driving seat,
There
guys.
you go.
Oh, that's so cute.
He's
And he's in
dirty.
the muddied waters.
He's
Christ.
definitely muddied up. Thank you so
Right?
much, Chastity, because that was perfect. I laughed
so
so
cute.
hard when I got that.
What a sweetheart.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, little mud guy.
I know, isn't that so cute? I love it. I was telling Claire that when we were trying to find, I was trying to do my little Bitmoji. I was searching and searching because Joe had made mine that's on the front of this live, and I have like a nose that's not human, and I look like a child. I'm like,
It was like a little ball.
I was like a little child. I'm like, well, this is weird. Okay, I know I'm going to do my own. So yeah, I stuck those devil horns on and put some eyeliner on my damn eyes. But I it was funny because I was looking up like bear and otter, and they had emojis of me being like inside of a bear costume.
You're gonna wear a bear suit?
I was like, this is so like Silence of the Lambs, yet I don't know. Like, so hi, Clarice, like Claire. I'm part of the bear.
To terrorize your co-host, girl. Like, great.
I was like, I don't think I should put that emoji. I'll just do this. It's so funny. We are one. I know. Okay, so here's some of the questions that I had asked the attorney. Let's see. So one of the things we're all wondering, I'm sure, is due to Lori Ann's credibility issue. Obviously, there's an issue there, right? Will be thrown out, probably. She doesn't have credibility, even so. But so I say, if jurisdiction isn't established in Washington, okay, refiling with another piece of evidence. Okay, so would an attorney file again in Washington with another piece of evidence? I believe what will happen is if jurisdiction is lost, they'll probably just file in Minnesota. So, and the statute is 2 years. So as long as it's done within that time, and there can be extensions and different things. Come on.
And what 2 years of time are we talking about? From the filing of the first case or the incidence of defamation? Like, what are we?
Really good question. We deal with this in personal injury all the time. Of course, it may differ, but it's kind of gray. I mean, well, it should be from the time of the incident, but they can argue this till, forever. So I can't give you a definitive answer, but it's within 2 years. It should be. In personal injury, it's like, from the accident, and it depends on a lot of different things. So I don't know. We're going to have to go to Emily or an attorney for that one. Explaining this case to my dad, by the way, was holy shit. He was like, oh God, what is this?
I can imagine it was a bit of a headache for him because it's just so,
he's not the one that gave me all these answers, but he did, concur with a lot of them. It's just different law. It's tough. It's a federal case. All right. So, okay, so what we were wondering is if Judge Rothstein is going to, is it Rothstein or Rothstein? How should I pronounce that? Do we know?
I'm not sure on the back part of it. It's definitely, I think Rothstein, but
okay, that's what I would say
we'll
too.
Be corrected. We mean no harm, Judge, either way.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean,
some, at least we're not making it a nickname or anything, so that's cool. Because it's like, I don't want to do that. No,
I was going to bring that up, and I thought I was going to be an asshole.
I try so hard to be respectful, and then you make me laugh, and
Oh my God, you're the shit. This is so funny. Okay, it's somewhat of an inside, but somewhat not. Is that what you're, girl?
No, I'm not. I
You're
was
not?
talking about the nicknames that people have assigned to the judge already. It's like insane.
Oh, I didn't even know there were any. I thought we were talking about the endearing nickname of Salty. And I love you guys. Whoever calls him that, that's great. I won't do it. I feel like it's a little emasculating and maybe sorry, don't
I
hate
know.
me.
It's
It's my
okay. I
opinion.
mean,
Okay.
that's where you're coming from.
Sweet.
But you're coming from a different view, like, being in the field, and
Professional. Right,
you
as a
need to be
professional.
professional all the time. And I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
And
There's
so
just
I don't
different
do it.
opinions.
I
But
do use the emoji, though. I will tell you, I have gifted that
what
salt
salt?
shaker. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's funny.
I put it out there when he did something funny. I put that salt shaker out there that was shaking all up. Guilty.
I don't know. That's no salt. I mean, because his name sounds like salt.
Yeah.
It's the
Only
Y at the
because
end that I'm like, huh.
his declaration was full of it. His shade was
Yeah, that's a good
unbelievable.
point.
Like, it's one of those things where if you know, if you know the players, you get the
Right?
subtle shade that's going on with all this stuff back and forth. Like,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
for me, it was entertaining. It was quite a good read. I still enjoy my coffee reading those filings back and forth. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. I'm a dork.
No, I love that you are.
Self-proclaimed, but
It's
I just enjoy it. I like the way he writes. I like that subtle shade. I like that little bit of salt on stuff,
oh yeah. I mean, we
but
all get a kick out of
yeah,
salt being salty.
it's entertaining. It makes it, legal briefs are not normally
No.
the stuff dreams are made of,
No, I have to read these sentences like 5 times in a row. I'm like, let's try that again. Like,
Yeah,
let's try it
exactly.
one more time, you know?
Exactly. So at least they're quite entertaining to read, when it has that kind of stuff in it.
Yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
why I use the emoji anyway.
No, I love the emoji.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so okay, I'm just gonna get through these questions and we can kind of bullshit about the other stuff. So credibility issue. Okay, so obviously everyone knows it'll just be filed again in Minnesota. I mean, not a huge surprise there. Okay, so will Rothstein allow argument? So what are we waiting on? What is the next court date? Nobody knows, right? Because there hasn't been one issued. Apparently, what will happen is we were kind of wondering, can they, because they've been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and jurisdiction hasn't been ruled on. Well, can they keep doing that, or is there like some limit to that? And when is she finally going to rule on jurisdiction? And will she allow arguments, or will she just rule?
Right. That's the
You know,
thing. Like, we don't know exactly. I'm just counting documents back and forth, and I think that it's up to her at this point. I don't
it's
know
up
if
to her.
it's going to be
Yeah.
a court opinion where the judge just says, "Okay, here it is," or if she puts something out that says she'll allow arguments, and they're going to have a conference, and then she's going to do the opinion. But
Right.
I don't know. Like, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know exactly, but it appears that that's where it's at after the time frame goes by. But that doesn't have
I was
anything
just
to do with the
told.
sanctions. That's like
Yeah,
separate from
exactly.
that
We should make
filing.
that good point. That's very. We
Yeah,
got to
that
separate
has
those two.
a totally separate issue. We're just talking about the jurisdiction filings. There was the first filing, then the precipe by the plaintiff, and the counter precipe by the defendant, and it went back one more time. And I think that's all you're allowed. I think you're only allowed 3. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was kind of asking, but the answer I got was, the court will do what it wants to do, and at that point, the court will decide if they have arguments. I mean, frankly, I don't really give a shit if there's going to be. I mean, it's fun to read the filings, but I really would love to hear, some action in the courtroom, or like some kind of
I
movement.
would, but not about jurisdiction. I'm on the other team for that one. I just want her to put out her opinion. I think I've seen enough 300-page filings on this jurisdiction bullshit. Excuse
Your
me.
opinion on what?
On her coming forward and allowing them to do counter arguments in a conference. Like, I think we've already heard everything from them with all those filings, don't you?
Yeah, unless there's news. So remember at that time, and these aren't direct quotes, just so you guys know. This is what my little ears heard um, when I was on the phone call. So some of the things that Salt's, she obviously scolded them a little bit. The complaint from Brown was, you are, trying this case in social media. Saltz responds with, KJ's litigating the case on YouTube and social media. And she has an overwhelming majority of an online presence. That's true. So
she does have a larger presence. She's mentioning other people like Salsa's Twitter, which is nothing compared to hers, and Emily Baker's channel, which is nowhere near as large as hers.
Right. So and I know.
So,
do you guys? This is way off topic, but I have to ask: do you guys think it's a little bit? Well, it seems like KJ, but isn't this like so blaringly obvious that she goes after the attorneys who are female? I mean, uncivil doesn't necessarily side with Brown or Saltz.
No, I actually saw him bash his head in the wall over the whole thing. I don't think,
Oh, like he actually
he got out of his chair, he walked to the wall, and he hit his head on it several times. Yeah.
But he's a man, and so she doesn't pick on him for some. That's just what it is in my. I don't know that that's true.
No, Mr. Brody either. She didn't come after him either, and he was definitely on some of those.
Was he? Well, that's a shocker.
We're actually coming out to support. Nope.
Well,
there's another one. What is it? Rican law or like Rakiki law? I
don't know. I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, he did one with Emily also, and she didn't say anything about that either. But this is those of us that have been around for a while will know that that's part of a pattern to go after the successful.
That's right.
Female that might be competition to you. It's like, it's like a type A, like, I can do it. You can't. Get out of my playground. Boy, it's like, boys, get out of here.
I know.
Go away.
And miss women supporting women. Let's show KJ what it's actually like to support women. And that's why it's great to have other channels support. I mean, we all have a different take. Everyone can have a channel. We can all talk about the same damn thing, but in a different way. Support each other. I mean, she always claims to do that, but clearly she doesn't. I just really quickly want to talk about the sanction issue. I know I'm jumping around, you guys, but this 19 grand that is being asked for is separate from the sanctions or the sanctions that they are asking for against Saltz. And those have not been ruled on. So though the issue of shortening the response has been thrown out, that does not mean that sanctions are thrown out. Will they be granted?
There were two separate motions, exactly.
Right. So this is, we have to remember this guy is, even if he's a dick, he's representing KJ, regardless of the client. He's probably trying to, but this is what's so funny is that he's asking in the first sanction filing, or no, I'm sorry, in the second one that was denied. He wanted the judge to rule on the sanctions first before jurisdiction, because once jurisdiction is figured out and ruled on, and if they don't win, then he's out of luck for the sanctions that he's asking for, the money.
Right.
So it's so funny how it's like, the rules are different for me. Like
but whatever. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? It's like a perfect pair. You couldn't ask for a perfect pair to be working together. It's like, do as I say, not as I do. Well, it's fine for me to do, but don't you do it. Right.
Yeah. To be a fly on the wall in Brown's office when she's on a conference call with him.
Well, damn, I hope that fly will vet the next motion. Like,
I know,
put that damn fly on the payroll, because
there's going to be money here. I know, for sure. There's going to be a lot of like salacious tidbits coming out because, remember in the phone conversation, in the phone hearing that I was listening to, Saltz did say that the FBI is involved. The computer expert that they have hired, which is not cheap, he's evaluating all of the hacking attempts, as well as, I'll just say he's evaluating. Okay, so you have several.
That's standard procedure. Everybody would probably agree that had to happen. You don't have hacking and threats of witnesses and not bring the FBI in. I mean, that's a given, right? Yeah, that's a
and
given.
They're not the only one. So,
and that means that they're in control of that part of it now, and not the individual lawyers, except for submitting whatever comes across or threats to them. Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean,
Right.
Lonnie is the senior attorney who has also been, um, threatened. I mean, I don't know what that feels like. I just don't. I don't know what it feels like to have my kids, get messages that my kid is going to be. I don't know if I can say it. Well, I've been saying fuck, so what the hell? But RAPED. I don't even want to say it. But
Yeah. Oh,
assaulted in that way. Murdered in front of people, and it's horrible. So
it's
I'm
horrible. I
sure.
mean, just to actually have your children's names exposed that way and things like that, in a
Hmm.
negative type, even if you are posting on the media and everybody knows you have a family, to have
Right.
them like threatened publicly like that in quite salacious ways, like the wording that was used, some of it was very specifically targeted to hurt, like in certain ways.
Right.
Scary. It's scary. And you're definitely glad that the FBI is involved.
Exactly.
I hope that they can protect everybody involved and they get down to it, and
Well, they're
that they'll
they're
expose it.
apparently.
But, that's only like I said, in my humble opinion, just a bear with an opinion. I'll even say this, that I have no actual fact, to present for this opinion, just that I think it's more than just the original hacking attempts. I think there's a lot more going on with other people and stuff. And if they start investigating that, I think a lot of people are going to get caught in this net because the
Yep.
FBI is involved. And I would just hope that the ones that are playing around and thinking it's so funny will cool their jets before they end up involved in something they really had no idea how far it would go.
Right. We just don't know. And that's what I was going to say earlier is a lot of this whole case is its own animal. It's like grown legs. If you think about it, this isn't. It could be really groundbreaking for in a case that's cited later on. If other creators, I mean, if jurisdiction is proven or ruled on in favor of Tati's side, and it's going to be the case going to be heard in Washington, that means people will cite this case in the future. If I mean, YouTubers are in every state, every parts of the world, but
Hmm.
specifically to the U.S. Okay, so if someone is a commentator and they're being accused of defamatory comments that rise to the level of KJ's, in my opinion, and someone files a suit, they're going to refer to this case and go, well, look, I mean, she received monies from Washington, and that got her jurisdiction. The case, so anybody who gives a super chat from any state in
Yeah.
the country,
It,
they're going to, yeah. So this is a big deal. And YouTube, I would just say that YouTube is not, or I'm sorry, that their position, Tati's position, as we know, I'm sure, is not just for monetary gain, or it's kind of a principle thing, and there may be a bigger goal in mind. You know what I mean? There might be a bigger goal. So it's just possible that things could kind of flower out a little bit. Um, what was the other thing? Okay, so the jurisdiction thing was the other thing what were you just talking about? Sorry.
what was I just talking about? We
Yeah,
were,
what did
we
you
were
just,
talking about jurisdiction and
yeah.
Washington, and my only question about that is that how I'm confused that how someone's mental health affects jurisdiction. I mean, they still live there, right? And they still
No,
spend
it
their
doesn't.
money from there, and they still were a
Yeah.
member from there. I mean, they have to target. I think that's what the sanction part is coming from, because they wanted to get this thrown out anyway on the mental health issue, and that really wasn't. I don't really
Yeah.
see that
Good point.
working. Besides sealing that information, um,
Right.
but
Exactly.
the facts of it are that that's where they lived and that's where their money came from, and that they spent money on that channel and they super chatted on that channel, and that's what the jurisdiction part was. But I don't
Well, I
see
think
how,
they're trying to prove that she's an agent, so to speak, for KJ, right? So
mhm,
she's acting as this, person who will the ride or die that will do kind of anything. Jurisdiction wise, yeah, I see what you're saying.
mhm.
It's like
And
she's
it,
still
and then it just makes it even worse, because that just shows on both sides how that muddied the waters. By going too far with that
right.
jurisdiction submission, you may have just made it a little harder for yourself for that to stick,
Yep,
because
muddied the waters now,
right.
but later it could turn into a really beautiful
Really, yeah, like a
cool thing.
mudslide. Yeah, like a whole mudslide. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So that was with jurisdiction, and then we have the hacking. So there could be a bigger thing with that too. There's got to be a master plan. We're not dealing with, well, I don't know about Brown, but Salt is incredibly bright. I mean, he's very capable,
Mhm.
and his goal could be bigger than just saying, "Hey, someone's trying to get into my email account," and I like, press charges on Katie. This is something that has to be founded, at least backed up by some kind of facts, and the FBI being involved gives us some promise
Mhm.
of a resolution. But
Right.
though may not be tied to this case right now, when it comes to defamation,
Mhm.
you were saying that bigger, that YouTubers could be, or that, I'm sorry, that tweeters or whatever could be caught in the
In
same
this net,
net.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
In this net.
hacking
Mhm.
is a different level. Like they're just trying to cause or insert themselves,
Mhm.
not necessarily be part of the case. And they could, exactly. That's a good point.
It
Get caught.
is. I mean, we all, we're all out on YouTube and Twitter, and we see it's all type of different personalities, and we've all run into a couple of crazy people here and there,
Right.
and people who just like to be involved in things, and it's exciting. This is an exciting case.
It is.
We
Yeah.
all know the players, and I get it. I really do. It's exciting. We know the players. We all are trying to figure out. I love a good drama. I love a good mystery, historical novel, and a good legal drama. I want to be like there trying to figure it all out. I
Right.
also love all the little plot twists. Like I don't want to watch something where I can figure out the ending. I want the plot twists. I want like all the extra things, and I don't want to see it coming. You know what I mean? Those are the ones I stay interested in. But there are.
So should we tell them about our big, huge, multi-million idea that nobody better copy? Do you
What is
remember?
our multi-million idea that nobody better copy?
Well, if this case is so salacious, there's a lot of, provocative,
Are you
different.
talking about my favorite thing? My favorite thing to do? The parodies? Are you talking about our parodies?
No, but the parodies are way bigger than what I'm talking about.
Well,
So
then you're talking
I,
about, oh yeah, we're all
I
gonna,
digress.
okay. Oh, you mean starting the GoFundMe to buy the movie rights so we can all be a part of it
Yes.
for
I didn't
real?
know about the GoFundMe, but can you
Yeah,
guys imagine what a series this would be? Think about like a podcast or just, I mean, can you imagine if Netflix really did a whole series on this? It's like, oh God.
it would be
It
great. It would
Yeah,
be
the
great.
character building. Oh, look
It,
at KJ.
it's
She's I mean,
already so comical the beginning. It's
yeah,
just like that's a funny thought. No, I thought just about, just making fun, like when the stress gets too much, I thought making fun of things is a good way to keep things in perspective, having a good laugh. If you can't have a good sleep, you should have a good belly laugh to,
oh, it's always a good
reset
motivation.
yourself a little bit,
Yeah, for sure.
so I
Oh yeah,
can't wait. I fantasize about the depositions. I want to do voices. I want to see,
totally. Yeah,
I
have
want to,
fun.
I want to see, did you just you put your whole screen up, hon?
I know. I'm sorry. I was just messing around because I was trying to figure
Yeah.
out how I could put some other stuff. I wanted to tell also the chat. Let's see if I can get. I'm going to get better at this. I swear to God, I will. It's been months since I've done it, but
We
I
will learn together. We will learn
learn
together.
together. See, it's so much more fun that way. I am looking at the chat. I feel so terrible that I've kind of ignored people. We do have more stuff, so just hang out. I see Nikki, Jersey Jojo, Chesh, Liz, Uncovering, Sue. I know I see people do this, and I think it's so sweet because I really do love the engagement, and we kind of have questions for you guys as well when it comes to how you feel in your theories. I see Jennifer. God, there's so many people. I've never had this many people. I mean, I have 3 videos, but this is so exciting. So, what do you think, Claire? Let's try and see a couple of the questions that we were going to go into, like case predictions, opinions, um, and regardless of the side on which you guys stand, no one's going to, harass you or think differently. I mean, we need to be able to kind of say our opinions as long as they're not derogatory and nasty. But let me start with mine, okay?
Okay.
Me. So bad. I really do think the declaration by Lorianne is probably nil. Blech. And unfortunately, the other thing I think is that Brown is maybe laying, and this could be the wrong term, like groundwork for a countersuit. I do believe that's what she'll do. I mean, that's her through and through. But yeah, so that's one of the things. I think she'll try and countersue. Because you guys, the money, I mean, she's probably spent, and this is in my opinion, and I have no idea, blah, 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 90 grand is what I would estimate it to be. I mean, when you have an attorney, and it depends on who writes these motions, you guys, Brown's partner makes $475 an hour, not $450. So this shit adds up. I mean, it really does. All right. So what's the other? Okay, let's countersue, more aggressive. And I would just ask, who do you guys think is more aggressive, Saltz or Brown? Do you guys think?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you guys think perhaps they're just aggressive in different ways, or are they doing the best for their client? Like, can we make a positive side also?
Okay, that's more than one poll there. Let's start with the first one. Okay, number one. Okay, if you feel the plaintiff's attorney, Mr. Saltz, is more aggressive, put a 1. If you feel that Michael Brown is more aggressive, the defendant's attorney, put a 2. Can we get a poll on that with the chat just to see where you guys are at?
So Saltz is 1, Brown's 2?
Yep, just on aggression. As far as attorney aggression is the question, Lace. Who do you feel is more aggressive in their filings and their attitude and presence? Like altogether, just aggressive. Oh, it's pretty mixed up. It's like,
yeah, it kind of is. And don't vote based on who you want to win. Vote genuinely.
We're talking filings and style and just what they've been doing back and forth.
Okay, we got Brown. Brown is a lot of them. I do see Saltz. Okay. I have to say I agree with all of you guys. I think both of them are aggressive. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. Mm-hmm. Being an aggressive advocate for your client is a good thing, right? But if you're acting in bad faith or accusing someone of acting in bad faith, that can get pretty nasty.
Yeah, I think that's where I go. I think that Michael's style is just aggressive by nature, just from his readings. But I do believe that this was a complete, go for the gut aggressive move on sanctions so early in a case.
Money grab.
Brown. So it's a money grab. Yeah, it's a money grab. So I would actually, I'm going to vote. You're going to be shocked. I'm putting a 2 in the chat. Don't fall out of your chair. There you go.
I know. What? We're shocked. This is crazy. Crazy.
It's going to be my goal, stream after stream. When can I get Heather to fall out of her chair? Yay.
I know, right? Yeah. Shit. It happens almost every single time I'm in this damn chair. Something's wrong with it. I have nightmares where I'm falling backwards because it's not really falling backwards, but you feel like it is. And you're and I always think I'm going to do that on camera one time and everyone's going to laugh. They're all going to laugh at you. They're all
not if you're an emoji, they won't know. It's the beauty.
Exactly. It is. Yeah.
Avatars rule, people. I don't care what they say about showing your face, man. Avatars are cool.
And when you're talking about cases and things that are, it's you want them to hear you and not so much
It's true. If you want to see our pajamas and our makeup for today, you're just going to have to check out our OnlyFans because we don't do this shit for free.
Our joint OnlyFans. There's lots of feet pics.
I had to make fun of it because you wouldn't believe the stuff that people say. I just laugh it off. It's just
listen. If I can make a quick couple grand a month, I just may look into that shit.
Oh, stop.
Can I chop my head off so no one knows it's me? Can you imagine? Oh God, never mind. I don't even want to think about it.
How did we go so wrong? We had a guideline. I didn't see this. Wait a minute.
Okay. And we have more. So don't leave, you guys, because I actually want to end things on a high note. What? I know. We knew this would happen.
Girl, you just did me in. Oh my God. Go ahead.
No, I think we kind of knew this was going to happen, but I love you guys for participating. This is so much fun. It is collective. We're all on the same side. We all just want to see this shit, finally, when it's adjudicated, then we'll be like, what's the next thing? Who do we go after? Where's our pitchforks? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, this is good. Like we said, this is going to be quite a long haul. I'm glad like we're all in it together. There's
Right?
many of us have been together on this kind of stuff, like about KJP for years or more.
Right?
You know, I mean, I'm myself, I go way back to Facebook days, you know, in mommy groups and stuff like that. Like, and some of us, you know, from after that, when she's got involved with the non sequitur or then got her own YouTube channel, like, you know, we've been around for quite some time watching this rodeo, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's why I say buckle up, people. This is going to be like the end of this story is quite a ways away yet. But it's very interesting.
It is. This is like
very interesting. And my opinion today may change tomorrow. No uncovering. I'm not dressed up as an otter on my OnlyFans.
I know, it's not funny. I was trying to put that one up, and
don't you dare.
Man, Andy, oh, she's so funny.
You're trying to torture me. This is funny. That's very funny. It's funny. Stuttering, people. I'm stuttering. This is not cool.
We like it. Are you blushing? We like that. It's good.
My avatar is
it. That's what I was say. We wouldn't know. What is this? Okay, so Claire Murphy says, hi, I have a friend named Claire Murphy too. That's so weird to see. And she's actually an attorney. I think they did sanctions now to get some money because when discovery starts, the truth about KJ's deceptive behavior will be known and they wouldn't be able to get money from Tati. Yeah, exactly. So they're trying to get the sanctions dealt with now because if jurisdiction isn't ruled, or if jurisdiction is ruled in Tati's favor, then they're SOL and they're going to have to, you know, eat the cost, whatever, or KJ will. So we don't care. We don't care if that. Okay, let's see. What else?
Don't put moderate's comment, or you want me to just read it?
I'd like to put it up, but I can't. Is there a way to like search for him? Because no, I don't see him.
No,
yeah, just
anyway,
read it, I'll find it.
He says he bets at the end of the case ends up with Tati crossing out KJ's name on 1,000K plaque.
That would be that's such a
gold. Did you see that? Keem got that. He like reduced his lawyer's fee settlement just to get that $1 million plaque to put his own name on it on a video.
So cool.
Yeah,
that is
way to win.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? You know what would be even better, you guys? And nothing's impossible. Is if she just didn't have a YouTube channel at all, right? And she
that's
disappeared.
You know, not to like. I really don't want to speculate, but when you're talking about suing somebody for millions of dollars when you know they don't have millions of dollars, right? I mean, that's probably something they might be interested in because they do just want her to stop. And she went on for like 18 months with Tati over and over and over again and would not force cease and desist. Four of them. And then the night before she got served, she did a stream and said, they'll never sue me. I'll bury them in discovery. Like they would never sue me. They don't want any of this stuff to come out. And then boom, next day.
Never say never, bitch.
Yeah,
I can't wait until the video. I hope the depositions
shows all that.
Yeah, the video. Can you imagine? Well, she'll probably plead the fifth to a lot of things because she could face criminal prosecution for like if it has to do with hacking and that sort of thing or attempted hacking.
Well, I'm thinking that, you know, just the way they ask for a jury trial is very strategic because, you know, just the person, the way they are and how they play, if she's there giving testimony or they're in the courtroom or if there's actually a jury there, I don't see that going well for the defendant at all.
Okay. No, okay. Craft Happy Tammy, hi, first of all. And yes, personal injury isn't the same. Sweets. I don't know if you're talking to me. And if so, elaborate because I'm interested in what you're talking about there. I know it's not the same.
If it's a legitimate question and not like just
I know I'm curious what it's in reference to though, because
yeah, we're not saying that anything that we're saying related to personal. Does she mean because that's
what our firm handles? So no, it's not the same.
And it's not where we're getting the information anyway. I mean, we're not exactly those kind of people that would ask personal injury attorneys about a civil lawsuit on defamation. I think we're both a little wider than that. So I don't know what kind of shade that is, but you can take that umbrella somewhere else.
Well, let me just tell you something. So my dad's practiced law for, he was a prosecutor. He was a criminal defense attorney. And then a more lucrative business when he started it and had the money to do it was personal injury for obvious reasons. But he's very
you know what, Heather, you don't have to explain yourself.
No, I'm not being defensive. Here's my point. So though personal injury is quite different than other parts of the law, different areas of the law, some things remain the same. So if you're being accused, if you're in a civil suit, regardless of what it is, and your answers in a deposition could land you in hot water with the law, you may want to plead the fifth. Your attorney probably would say that because you could be charged. So some things are the same, most of it isn't. So yes.
Right. Either way, I don't think we needed to be told that because it's not relevant, but whatever.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to know what she was referring. That way I'm able to accurately.
I don't know about you, but it was the sweets for me.
I know. I think that's probably what did it. It was like,
next time you're going to troll, you should actually leave the troll part out if you don't. If you want to be subtle, yeah. I don't know.
She's never been a troll, so I'm like, okay, but that's okay. I love differing opinions. You guys tell me if I sound like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about because typically I don't. All right, let's see.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just not very patient with this. I've been getting it for days. I'm just not really patient.
Now let me tell you. Claire says I've been getting it for days, and always when I ask her, like she doesn't really. Yeah,
I don't name names. No, mm-hmm. I take care of my own business.
Yeah, but I would love to. It sucks. That's why we tried to do this whole. All right, let's move on. Whatever. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'll get better at looking at the chat because I do love that you guys are commenting. In terms of, okay, so the last, let's see, discuss our community divide. Okay, so back to the community divide with that comment, we'll just go there. We did that, encourage patience. Okay, so I just wrote down that I wanted to encourage patience and unity because we are, this is why we came together in the first place. You guys got to think, as annoying as it is for people that have been around since the beginning, pointing out KJ stuff. Mm-hmm. There are so many new people coming in. That's where it's like, who's this? Like, this person's following me. What do I need to be paranoid? It's what is happening? But you think about it, the beauty community, the drama community, and you have a little of the atheist community. There's all kind, and then I think Katie was in at one point with her child being not just special needs, but what is the term that she likes to use? I don't know. My brain's not working, but you guys get what I'm saying. So she's been in many different communities, and this case is being publicized so much. So there's going to be a lot of different people. All right. So let's case predictions. We did that. Discuss community divide. What else? You guys, should we? I don't know if
How about some singing? Do you want me to play some singing, or what do you want? Are you there yet?
I have a question. Is that
You want? Okay.
She's like,
was that a yes? Yeah.
I don't know what it is going to be, but yes, do it.
All right. Let me just share this screen with you, and I have to play it, and then when it's done, I'll stop. You ready?
Yeah.
You have to put it up for me, though.
Okay. Where is it though? Oh no.
What is the commentary requirement for playing somebody else's stuff? How many seconds or minutes is it?
Yeah, I know. I think it's like 30 and then you got to pause it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Can you put it up on the screen and I'll hit play?
Oh, this is so great.
Is it ready? Okay. I'm hoping they can hear.
Mr. Salt's testimony, they determined Ms. Barnhart and Ms. Paulson engaged in conspiracy.
Can you all hear?
I'm sorry.
Can you guys hear?
Sorry, Katie, if she was rebroadcasting my stream on her platform and killed it because of the alcohol talk. I'm sorry, Katie.
Here it goes.
I didn't mean to. Baby, come back.
Oh, yeah.
Like a fool to me. Something they're about to. Baby, come back.
That's not an invite, KJ. Don't come back.
All on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Katie girl.
Katie
I
girl.
didn't mean to do you that way. Please come back to me, girl.
Oh my god. That is the funniest clip. I actually like that.
Oh, thank you, Uncivil, because yay, that was so good. I hope
very
you don't mind we shared that, but that was Brill. That was definitely Brill. You can,
So good. Oh, what else? We got some more. We got some more clips. Let's see. Da-da-da. What do we want to? Do we want to?
okay, I'm getting rid of that one so I don't get confused.
Okay, yeah, I'll get it. Okay,
We're done. Okay, we're done that one. We're done that one.
All right. Okay. What is there anything like? What can I do to shock? Where's the? I wanted some shock factor. Well, we did that.
Well, what do you want to talk about? Like shock? Who do you want to shock?
I want to, shock the shit out of anybody who's in here. I mean, because there's some pretty good salacious info that comes out all the time. I mean, the theories are what are really entertaining me right now. So for instance, the theory that somebody maybe more, somebody is possibly paying KJ's fees, and if not that, and I'm talking about.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. There's
has also not just paying the fees, but was he perhaps the
source of this whole thing? You mean like
right? And then going further than that with the hacking. I mean, I don't know how savvy or connected he is with that, but his drive seems to be to tear apart the business. He's an ex-partner, correct?
Right. And a lot of the streams that Katie did, she was bragging about getting the information first and getting it before it dropped, the legal case, and how could that have happened if she didn't have like a real inside source?
Right.
I guess that's where a lot of that rumor and innuendo is coming from,
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Heath?
I do. I think it's all rumor and innuendo. I got to choose my words carefully. Some of the accusations and like rumor, so to speak, quote unquote rumor, are factual. Like I know they are. So we kind of have to.
I guess we have to wait because if he was the source of some of the information that she was being on stream being salacious about, and saying all this stuff about Tati and her husband, and using it about the business and all of that stuff about no bank accounts and the all that stuff that related to the business, that'll all come out like in depositions, and she's going to have to talk about that stuff to defend herself, correct?
Yeah, she will. I mean, she, as long as it's not going to get her into trouble criminally, and she's not somebody who is, no attorney would want to put her ass on the stand because she has a temper. She's, will defend herself forever and ever and ever. And, I just wouldn't do it.
But aren't they going to be putting herself on the stand anyway by showing the videos?
Well, they're going to take her deposition too. I mean, we have to get past this.
But aren't the videos evidence? Like,
oh yeah.
So she's on the stand. KJP full blown, like right there, the real thing.
Yeah, exactly. I have to open the door for my dog. It'll be 2 seconds. Go ahead, go.
I'm actually looking forward to. I hope it's a fantasy of mine that we actually get a live stream into the courtroom with all this, and that hopefully
I know
some of this pandemic will be over and the courtrooms will be open. There'll be a real jury, and we could see. I'm looking forward to seeing their faces as they watch some of these videos and some of the stuff that she said actually about the Westbrooks, and how that impacts them, because it'll be like a layperson's view of actually how that actually affected somebody.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's true. And there's there's just so
You know,
much further to
yeah,
go.
paper depositions and question and answers aren't really going to do it. Like, because I'm just a curious little bear. I actually want to see the whole drama thing. It's just, I just don't want to read about it.
Oh yeah, we want to watch it unfold, and that's why we
Yeah.
get so anxious, and we're like, "Give it to me now!" Like I really need to know that where the hackers caught. Where the hackers caught. I get so many different messages. Like, oh, we don't. I mean, yeah, got to wait until that stuff is actually happens. Oh, I just got a. This is so funny. Joe just sent a picture from the office. He's watching us.
Oh, you see,
Joe, you have a wrench, so come on.
yeah,
And
you see. See my avatar, Joe. I'm winking at you.
I know. She's like, and he's the one that made that horrible avatar for me. I look like a little.
It wasn't bad. It was just the nose. It was like the nose was bad because it wasn't a nose. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't a nose.
Yeah, no, it was like a ball. So weird. Okay, I'm trying to give people wrenches, and I'm not really.
Who are you? Yeah, I can't help you with that.
I know. Damn it.
You have to find their name and then go to the 3 dots and bingo.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. But it's like
You can't find him?
No, it's telling me, no, do you want to put him in timeout? I'm like, no, I want to give him a wrench, but nope, it won't let me. I'll figure that stuff out later. But all right, so what else? What do we not? Because I know I'm going to get off here and go, I didn't talk about this, and I have thousands and thousands of notes.
The good part about that though, there's always another stream. There's always
true.
We can,
and we do have, and we've got some ideas that I think will be a lot of fun. The information's going to keep coming in. I wonder, this sort of brought up a funny topic. I was talking to somebody, and I'm like, if to have an expert, first of all, is a lot of money. So Tati's side is hiring these forensic computer analysts who are looking into everything, especially for the criminal stuff with the FBI. Mm-hmm. But then I started thinking, like, what if someone accused me of something and I was in some lawsuit and they took my computer and looked at my Google searches, and I'm like, Joe's like, I'd be fine. I'm like, really? People would think I was so weird. I would be totally humiliated, like looking up the weirdest stuff. Can you imagine though? I mean, that's like,
I don't want anybody coming and looking at my Google search. Like, that'd be worse than my OnlyFans page, man. That would be like, that would be naked and exposed. Like all the things you look up or you're curious about, or like all that great stuff, but that brings up a good point. You tickled my memory there a bit. What do you think about like Katie all of a sudden streaming about QAnon and the dark web and Bitcoin and just throwing it out there, for everybody while all this is going on? Something she's really never talked about before.
No, you say it because you're
not actually trending. Yeah. What?
Yeah. You've hit the nail on the head. Go for it.
I'm just telling you, like, doesn't that muddy the waters? Like, we're talking about Google searches, right? I mean, you just mentioned that. That's what triggered my memory on this a little bit. Is that by her coming up there and talking about it and everything, maybe she's just justifying her damn search history. Oh, damn, I was working on a stream. You can't use that for evidence. That's what I do for a living. Like, yeah, so I Googled like how to hackers in like wherever, how to pay for them with Bitcoin, and like, how did 4chan do it? Like, I digress. Just my humble opinion.
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, think about that, you guys. That's so clever. When I was like, oh my God, she's actually talking about, I don't know how so many things happen every day. I'm not sure how the clip came around, but I was like, she is not. She's talking about the dark web. She's talking about the dark web, and which surely could be a source of hiring some of these hackers, right? And then Claire's like, well, she probably wants to be able to, explain her search history. So clever. This is more theorizing, but it's funny.
that was like my whole point. If there's anyone that I have ever watched on YouTube and watched them get themselves in messes and get out of the messes and like always seems to come out clean, the one person that I have watched all this time that knows how to muddy the waters is KJP.
Damn
She's
straight.
an expert.
Mhm.
She's an expert at, yeah, you know the facts. Here they are. But let me throw some mud on them so nobody else is going to believe it.
Yeah,
And
and
boom, she does it every single time. And we've all been there over the course of this year or so, and dealing with these incidences over and over. And you were wondering, why doesn't she ever get held to task? There it is. There it is. That's
can we play that?
because muddied waters, you are not clear. You can't call it a fact. You can't say that's what happened.
Right.
It's all dirtied up now. You want to play that clip? I can do that.
Look at Faith's comment. It's hilarious. Convolutes like a mother.
I agree. I
It's so
concur,
funny.
Faith. I concur.
She's
I
a
concur.
riot. Okay. Yeah, let's play it. How do I gotta get this.
I do it. I'll drop it for you.
Thank God. Okay. Oh, you dropped it. Oh, okay.
I'm going to drop it for you, and you're going to put it up, and then I will play. You're going to have to talk, though. This one's a little
Can I carry you around in my purse forever so you can
No,
tell me
ma'am, you may not. You know, no, ma'am.
I need you to be like on my shoulder. I'll pack you up in my suitcase.
Oh my God. Does that mean you're going to invite me back?
Yeah, you need to come to this side of the country anyway. You guys are all like totally covered in snow.
No. I'm totally an East Coaster, but I meant on the stream, you silly rabbit.
On this stream? Oh, hell yeah. You guys this is a thing. This is a thing, girl. This is our thing. Yeah, we're doing it.
Okay. Can you
look at that?
Are you ready?
Hold on. Yes, yes.
Yeah, leave Faith there. Faith's beautiful. Leave Faith there, please.
Isn't she though? I love her.
Has had a long history of pedophiles on that group and on that page, you know, posting right on the line kind of inappropriate content about children or being friendly to pedophiles. And the guys that run it, which are a father and a son, James and Ronald Watkins, they live in the Philippines. And they're basically who people say is QAnon at this point, because they, as the owners of this board, would have to know who they are. 8KUN is the name. It's
because I can't pronounce it.
It's on the dark web. It's usually, I don't even know. I don't know a lot about the dark web. I'm sorry. Don't frequent the dark web. But
because I've been there and it's scary.
From the clear web too. But they were having problems with their server. So, but it's on the dark web.
What's the date?
A lot of people access it through the dark web because it is.
Think of a lie.
They don't want their IP addresses showing, I think, because it's really bad stuff down there. Like
really bad.
Well, she definitely knows what to do with an IP address.
Is really bad. So I was.
She does.
Reading all of these like articles about it, and I was like going to the Twitter accounts of this Frederick guy that used to own 8chan. He sold it to the Watkins.
But I know nothing about it. Just who owns it, where it is.
Their justification
right? I know.
Of
my source
discussions about child porn and like pedophilia is that it's just the consequence of free speech. So they're not going to tell you that you can't talk about it. And so they're not going to moderate it. And it's like, there really are limits to free speech, and there are some things that really we don't need to have groups for, and there are groups where we do associate, and we definitely do not need groups that promote or advocate for pedophilia or are
okay. Thanks for stating the obvious. Okay,
or,
here we go.
The like, or really groups that exist to spread horrific, oh my gosh, and so much doxing that happens on these pages.
Oh. Hypocrisy.
I got keywords here.
Things was that.
Oh my God. Like literally. Is she still blabbing? Where is she at? I can't see her
I
anymore.
don't know. Did we lose the sound
I
on
think
it?
we lost it, but that's okay.
QAnon is a different page, but it doesn't matter. It's all hosted on the
There you
same
go.
website. It doesn't matter. Like, even if you were on the QAnon thing, there's still stuff on that website that's completely disgusting and gross.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways,
Completely.
you don't wanna
Because,
go there.
like, I
You
didn't
don't wanna
hang
go
out
to
there
that
for a
web.
while and find
You don't
out
wanna
about
go to
all
this
that. Like,
webpage.
I don't
was
know.
telling you about it.
Like,
I was reading about it this
Freudian
weekend.
slip.
yeah, like I saw it, but I read about it. I
Different
saw it,
interviews
but I
that,
read
Dark web
about it.
who? What? Someone brought it up, not me.
Frederick Brennan had done. He's the one that started this website, and he says that, you know, James and Ron Watkins are QAnon. They are the Q. And it's like, these guys live in the Philippines. They're completely like away from any sort of justice here.
Oh God! In the middle of a defamation suit, and she just cannot stop her mouth.
I would say you could watch.
Why would
the
you
Vice
want Q
documentary.
looking at you in the middle of all this going
They have
on?
a
Like,
really
why
good
would you
sort
do
of-
this?
I mean, well, the thing is, I can agree with her on what the hell I agree with what she's talking about, but it's
New York
she's
Times
making claims about
with
people.
a lot of good coverage on it. There's been several articles that have been, there's a whole series about the start of QAnon that was on ABC News. And then once you start to like figure out who these people are, like a lot of them, you know, like you can either like, a lot of them, their Twitter accounts have been removed, but you can still see the images of their Twitter if you like look on Google Images of people that took screenshots of it. So,
She's an asshole. I can't.
Yeah. Like,
don't hold back, Heather.
I'm so sorry.
People are so, it's utterly, and yes, law enforcement does shut down dark web.
Okay, wait. So we pause it.
Yeah.
I want to bring this up. This is so.
Dark websites is that.
Shut that woman up. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
I did.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. Isn't it like nails on a chalkboard? Okay. So this reminds me, uncovering, I have to show this because I would have forgotten to say this. Remember we were talking about this? So,
yes.
So uncovering says, he was I'm assuming she's talking about Todd, right? Her, KJ's husband. He was an engineer at CenturyLink, according to her, and Jesse Bear's husband is supposedly a big in IT. So Jesse, here's what I know, which isn't a lot, but here's what I know. Jesse Bear was her, is considered an employee, right? Because it's not just KJ being sued, but her LLC. And she's an employee. Too bad she didn't flip. Huh?
She's being paid, but since they didn't do payroll, she's actually a contracted employee.
Yeah, but still an employee, nevertheless. So it'll be interesting to see what this, what she says. But anyhow, so here's what I didn't know. I knew Jesse Bear's husband because I had heard rumors a long time ago that her husband they divorced, I believe. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true, but anyways, he was okay. He was in the I think he was in the military or something, but he was a tech savvy dude. That's what he did for a living, or in the army or something to that effect. Okay. Don't quote me, guys. But the other thing I learned is that Todd was an engineer at CenturyLink. The one, the job that he got fired from. Just kidding. He was laid off. Just kidding. Whatever story KJ told. Right. So I was alluding to this fact earlier, that, just because there's nothing tying KJ to actual hacking attempts or successful hacking does not mean that she may or may not have conspired to do that and used.
Right. Well, that's right. Yeah, so that's just kind of, for me, that's a little obvious. I don't know. Maybe I think like
it is, but
it's
you know
so
what? We
obvious that if this is being done, it's not being done by the people that want it done. It's being done by somebody else for them.
Exactly.
Because nobody would do it themselves if they were involved in this kind of exposure. And I mean, that's insanity. I mean, do you agree? I mean, that's insanity.
It is insanity. But I also know that, at least in my mind, I was thinking, because there are businesses apparently that though illegal here, they advertise on Google for hacking. You can actually hire them. They're in different countries, whatever. They probably have VPNs that bounce all over the damn world.
Right.
But still, so if you were to do that, then think about it, you guys. You have to follow the money. There's got to be some kind of trace, and maybe Bitcoin, whatever. These are all theories. It just is like we're just all thinking the same thing. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not like we're a group of hackers and we can just give you a play-by-play how this kind of stuff works.
Yeah, no, I can't even run this show, so I have no idea.
And you can check my Google history. There's none of that in there.
I know. How to hire a hacker.
I don't know. Do you want me to play more, or do you want to?
Yeah, play it, and I'll look for.
Do you want me to try to speed her up to Chipmunk's speed so it's
and
for you?
While you do that, will you show me how in the hell you can do that? Because I have no idea how to do that.
What, Chipmunk speed?
Yeah, to like move it up. Everyone's like, oh, you have to listen to this person on 2 times or whatever. I'm like, how do I do it?
There's a little circle thing over to the far side, and you go to playback. You click it, and you go to playback speed, and then like I consider Chipmunk speed at like 1.5, and we'll see if they can tolerate it. But the chat, go ahead and scream it.
Just do it fast. Just do it fast. All we have to do is understand.
And we'll see. And if it's not, then I'll
I'm literally just reading about stuff this weekend. I think a lot of the problems is that they use like VPNs to hide their IP addresses, which makes it hard. And then everything's done through Bitcoin and like through ways. It's just there's so many layers of security that these people use to be completely anonymous. But they can go with like Silk Road. Remember that Silk Road? That's another really good document. Is that on Netflix?
I'm full of shit.
If you want to learn about the underground dark web,
okay.
She has shit coming out of her mouth because she's full of shit.
It's so hard for people to figure out where these websites are hosted out of, because they intentionally like hide their IP addresses, and then they like use servers that are all over the world.
That must be so frustrating for her.
Countries, and I don't even know. But Silk Road was this guy, I think he was out of San Francisco, and he was like a drug dealer, and he created this whole like network where people could buy and sell drugs. And they ended up getting him through some sort of mail. I can't remember how it was, how they specifically got him. They were able to track him down through something to do with the mail and how things were sent out. I think it's on Netflix or Prime. Yeah. So Silk Road is a really fascinating one if you want to sort of get a dive into like how they set these up. But now anytime someone talks about how they're into Bitcoin, I'm always like, ooh, you're on the dark web. Ding, keyword. There's like no reason to have Bitcoin to me other than if you're like on the dark web, in my opinion. But I don't know.
No, that people invest in Bitcoin. Okay.
Why would you want to be anonymous with your money? Unless you're using it for something bad, right?
Well, I don't know. You tell us.
On the documentary for Silk Road.
We should have made bingo cards for the keywords.
Oh my God, that's such a good idea. Nobody steal it. Yeah. Let's do that next time.
Silk Road, something like that. Yeah, super fascinating.
Super fascinating.
Oh,
okay, this is
get into the shower.
Oh. Bye.
Please.
Oh my goodness. We're like,
oh, is that the nonverbal child? Oh, okay.
Oh, now Heather.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
I know. It's just this is actually a fun part.
Sorry. So we didn't get our haircut today.
Oh, I forgot about that monster.
All right. Well, he has to take a shower, so.
She's gonna strike this. We gotta pause it, I think.
Yep. No, it's done. It's over.
Okay.
Thank the Lord. Gone. Okay.
Good. Well,
thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
I know. That was so annoying. But yeah, isn't that interesting, you guys, that she's talking about the dark web? All of a sudden.
Yeah, we should have had a bingo card. There was doxing, there was Google, there was 4chan, there was QAnon, there was oh my God, there was like everything.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know. That's just not stuff.
I don't know. Like, Heather, am I weird? Like my brain just like giggles at this stuff when she does this, something like this. And I'm just like, this is so obvious, but it's like not obvious.
You know, it's exactly. You can't think she's, maybe that's why she does it. Cause she thinks, oh, nobody's actually going to think I would do that, especially in the climate we're in with the hacking. Exactly. But I mean, if she's, think about, this is what I always sort of thought about is months ago. Cause when I realized she was psychotic, so in my opinion, or whatever is going on there.
Wait.
Okay.
Did you say, when I realized she was psychotic? Did you just say that to me?
I sure did, but I want to change.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to change it to when I realized that something was not right, and she was like, maybe not a good person.
There you go.
I had, with the infamous DMs and whatever, I just sort of walked away, and it was like a couple months after I had started watching her, and I realized, then her popularity sort of shot up, and with the Amber Portwood stuff and but right. I kind of thought, this is somebody who, is constantly covering celebrities. She sees what works for them, what they do if they're like trying to, shamelessly promote themselves, or like, oh, the paparazzi was at this place, I had no idea, when they really called them, or what things work when it comes to, promotion in general. So sometimes I do think, I wonder if she sets these things up so people will talk, and then inevitably, even if it's hate watching, they'll go to her channel, sub, and that's that. Because most of her subs have got to be either forgot their sub to her, or they're not real, or they're hate watching. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm kind of.
Well, on that note, there's a lot more too. There are, there's over 6,000 people in the Without a Crystal Ball Reddit now. That started out, like, before the lawsuit, it was only at maybe 1,500, maybe close to 2,000. That's a big jump. That's a lot of views. People must be tracking the case for whatever reason, not just because it's KJP, but there's the bigger picture. It's a YouTuber case. It's two YouTubers against each other because one doesn't like what the other one was saying. Right. And it's about millions of dollars. So, like, it's huger than that. We would think she'd be getting a lot more views, but I don't really see that in her numbers.
I wish someone would do a video solely on that. If I knew enough about it, I'm sure I could research, but wouldn't it be fascinating for like a big YouTuber to, not that I want her to get the attention of that, she would love it. But if they broke it down and said, look, I know that when she gains 1,000 on the Social Blade, that's just because they count in thousands over 100, right?
Right. So once you get over a certain number, they only record it when it hits 1,000, however long it takes you, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They're just never going to show the bump until it reaches that number. At least that's how it was explained to me by another YouTuber. I watched a stream, and it was part of a conversation they were having. And I do believe it because I've seen it. I've seen it in comparisons on what's going on. Just recently, she went up to 1,000, but it took her, 5-6 weeks to get there, to go up 1,000. And smaller channels, it'll show you like in tens, hundreds, and whatever. Sure. Once you get to a certain number, it only shows it in 1,000 increments, Right. But are they active numbers? The engagement lately on lives and stuff like that has been...
it's, and I'm not saying that Twitter, you have to have the same, because that's not always proportional to like their subs on YouTube, but she has, I think she has like around 9,000 Twitter followers, and she's constantly inviting people via YouTube to come to her Twitter, which is how a lot of people figure out the psycho that she is. Right. And then she's like, I just don't understand how she gets 3 likes. I have like 500 followers or something, and I'll get more than that on one little post. It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know anything about it. So
right.
Very weird.
Did you answer that question there that from Katie Dixon?
No,
anyone know the date that LA, I assume that means Lorianne, went to Salts? Wasn't it around the 6th? I do believe that's true. Something that had the courthouse closed on the Monday. Brown was supposed to have her sign, correct? She could have signed whether it was a holiday or not. It's my understanding. It's about when it gets accepted by the court. They're still allowed to do submissions. But from what I read in the depositions back and forth by both parties, there was a lot of emailing going back with Lorianne and Brown about, I've got to go to get something copied. I've got to get ink in my printer. I've got to, there was a lot of stuff going back and forth that may have delayed it. But then the last email said something like, I know like what's going on now. And it seemed like she had a turn. and then they stopped contact for right then. So I'm not sure if you're asking if the courthouse being closed had anything to do with Lorianne signing. I don't believe that that would have had anything to do with it, because she could have signed at any time. It's all, the courthouse being closed would have been about submitting it. Does that make sense, Heather?
It does. I'm not in the know when it comes to that stuff. So I just don't, I mean, when it comes to these dates, I don't even recall any of this stuff. I know when it comes to Lorianne and the Nat's declaration.
Yeah, Jennifer Falk in the chat, and I don't know. I'm just going to read the message, because either way, Katie Dixon and or Jennifer Falk, I don't have anything in front of me. I can go and find that deposition and prove it, but I'll have to check later. Jennifer's saying it was around the 11th that she decided she was not going to sign with Brown, and it was submitted on the 12th, or signed on the 12th, which, that could be, we know it was those first weeks of January that this was all going on, with emails back and forth, and, and her, deciding whether or not she was going to sign with them, and, because she was worried about other things too. But
yeah, exactly. I know. I'm, sorry, I'm trying to do this. Yeah.
So she said, no, she's trying to find out if the email for Washington records could have been for LA. When you say the email, are they talking about the screenshot that Katie showed of all her emails back and forth for records that she requested?
Who's saying it so I can put it up on the screen? I don't know.
Katie Dixon. She said, no. I am trying to find out if the email for Washington records could have been for Lorianne. We don't know. We just know Katie had a request for records.
Well,
she recently showed a screenshot of that up on her one of her lives, or one of her videos. Clearly showed that interaction, and that she had asked for records from the Washington state.
I'm so glad she brought this up, because this is actually another thing that this is what I was worried about. I keep forgetting things, even though it's plastered in front of me. But as it comes to, I'm glad she brought this up. Okay. Hold on. Let me bring this thing up really quick. So, so when Katie showed inadvertently her email on the screen for those couple of seconds or minutes, I haven't even seen it. I've just heard all about it. A portion of the emails, as you know, are you get a little summary. And so it wasn't the entire email, but you could see the first couple lines, and people have decoded it because it was really blurry and whatnot. Has she waived her attorney-client privilege is kind of what we were talking about in regards to that. We never really went there, but yeah, so she's trying to figure out if the email, so one of the emails that was in KJ's email box there that was shown briefly was from some kind of wherever you would look up records in whatever state, but it was for Washington, and it showed that she had paid money, I believe, right? Am I wrong? Do you know about this?
It was a records request receipt. Yes. There's a screenshot of it. I don't know what date that actual live was, and whether the receipt would be from a prior request, because it takes time to go back and forth and look up things, I don't know if it was done that day, and it definitely doesn't say who it's on. It just says that transaction happened.
Yeah, exactly. And it could be, once you pay for something, maybe they kind of remind you or send, who knows, but it could open her up to some things that she does not want to be questioned about. So
the only thing that we do know is that live that showed that has been privated, and that we also know that it definitely aired, and we saw the screenshots well after Lorianne's declaration was submitted, if that makes any sense. So we know, whatever, we know it happened afterwards. We don't know when she requested the records. We just know we saw receipt of them after that.
Right. And it could also, so it could be for Lorianne or, some. For
and then, like you said, to point that all of those emails back and forth with Brown, has she now violated or opened herself up to let attorney client
privilege,
privilege be exposed out there, that, you know, it's not private. People can talk about it. Like, we're allowed to talk about what she just did. Like, there's
Right.
no, like, you can't strike me for that. Sorry. You put it out there. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Oh yeah.
You can private it, but it was free information when you did it. Like, and that's when I saw it. Like, you know, so.
Okay, so wait, name edited it said something like all sales are final.
Yes,
And
it did.
then
It was definitely
okay.
a transaction receipt, and usually that's for copies of records when you have to pay per page, you know. So
Mhm. And then Faith says it looks like it was dated 1/20/21 or 1/30/21, so it couldn't have been for the transcript.
no, it wasn't for the transcript because,
Yeah,
you know,
her
I don't
attorney.
believe the attorneys have to pay for the transcript.
No,
Do
she
they,
would have.
Heather? Right. So why would the defendant not get it from her attorney? She definitely, like, nice. I hope that's not what she's going to try
Well,
to
it's in
say.
other fees because there's a court reporter, but her attorney would have dealt with that. She wouldn't have
Right,
been
and she would
ordering
get it
that.
from him. She wouldn't have to pay for it herself.
Right.
I would
Exactly.
hope. I mean, he's charging her $450 an hour. You know, give the girl the transcript.
Oh, I know, right? This Jessie Cat, who is so pretty. Okay, receipt would be the same day she paid for the info. It is automated, and the courthouse sites send immediately. Okay, so like
Well, thank you for that information.
yeah, that's interesting. So
But
it
without a
may,
picture of the screenshot here, we can't
yeah,
verify the date. I wouldn't want to say anything about that because we don't see it like right now in front of us. But it is around that time period, and it is very interesting.
well, so Diane McCall says, I don't know. It was after the lawsuit and uncivil law said it was no biggie. I disagree. I think this is something KJ creepy, just my opinion. I agree. And I did hear Uncivil's take on it, and he didn't necessarily say it was no biggie. He's typically middle of the road because it is a gray area, and it could or could not waive
Right.
client attorney. You just
And
don't know.
I like his take on that because he really kind of sticks to the legal part of it, and it's kind of straightforward, and he gives a little opinion on it. And I do enjoy watching him for that because
Mhm.
it's so easy for us to pick up all these little innuendos and things because of we come from a different community that's been documenting her bizarre and creepy behavior for so long that we look for it, you know, and
Yeah.
sometimes I want to walk away from that and just look at like what's going on with not that all involved, you know what I mean, to give me more of a balanced perspective on it. You know, because, you know, it's so easy for us to all these little things. Of course, we're going to think if we see a receipt like that she's up to something based on history that we've had with her. That's going to be our first instinct. But I prefer to walk away from that thinking sometimes and look at it the other way first. I mean, granted, I usually end up right back here going, yeah, she's up to something. But I do like to I like to backdoor it. I like to come the other way first so that I know I'm not, you know, prejudging, so to speak, and not paying attention to the facts that I see. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh my God, 100%. That's why you are who you are, and we love you. Yeah, totally.
I love you too.
I just adore you. So Katie Dixon says, okay, now the tweet she put out about seeing emails and knowing everything, I think it may have been directed at Lori Ann, but I also don't understand the switch unless she really did just realize who KJ is.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Will you explain that to me?
This tweet, what she's just asking, she's like, there was a tweet that said that Katie says, we know everything. Like, we can see your emails, you can see ours. All right. And I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Katie, that she is saying that she thinks that was directed at Lori Ann. But she doesn't understand why Lori Ann would switch unless she realized who Katie was. And unfortunately, that's something we're never going to know because I doubt Lori Ann is ever going to come forward and say what happened and why she did what she did or why she said what she said. And we're just only going to be able to speculate on that because we're not going to ever be privy to that. Even if they keep that in, if it doesn't get tossed, they're never going to ask questions on why she did what she did to the point where the truth will come out. It's only going to be the truth in proving why something's in the case. It's not going to be like how she felt or what, you know, what led up to something, you know. Yeah, that's going to have to come out in the documentary, you know. That'll be a good part to speculate on and get the character going on that.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what the character. I mean, it may have been directed at Lori Ann, but what we do know is that the verbiage used by the hackers was very similar. So they used the word "we" and "know," and I think everything. We know everything. Oh no, we're
Right.
watching you. But it's
Well,
always
on that note, uncovering is reminding us about those screenshots again. Katie's screenshot with all those emails, and that the first couple of lines you can read, like a line or so on an email, and what really, besides all the thing about the Washington records and all this back and forth with Michael Brown and Katie on that day, was the fact that one of them said that they weren't handing over any information to Saltz that he asked for, even though he had.
Oh, that's right. Someone did-
Remember, because part of Brown's issue was, hey, they're not talking to me, they're not answering me, they're not taking this serious. Saltz at the time is trying to tell them all this stuff, like this is serious and this back and forth, and yet they already are saying in those couple of lines that they do not want to give the information to them, whatever they're asking for. So we don't know exactly what that is back, but it does show that they were talking about not cooperating between attorney to attorney, which brings us back to one of our original points, that judge has a big issue that these particular attorneys, and I'm not playing favorites or calling either one out, they are not communicating to the judge's standards. Can we say that? Can we all agree on that? This judge believes they should be talking and she shouldn't be getting a lot of this stuff. Right. That they should be communicating on a different level. And maybe it's too soon for that, but I can't even see, with all this going on now, how they're ever going to get to that point when they're already doing this. But you really expect better in the communication department between the two attorneys.
Oh boy, hold on, I'll mute.
Is everything okay?
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Joe just came home, so the dog's really excited.
Thank you uncovering, but I can't beat her because she's really, really, really far away, and it would take me hours to get there.
Wait, to do what? What are you talking about?
I know Uncovering asked me to beat you. I don't know.
Okay, you should see our conversation in Discord the other night. I was like, don't make me backhand you, because she's like, I don't know what you said. We were just like, she's like, it's a long flight to come out here, and I'm like, I'll do it if you say something again. But we joke about that all the time. We're literally on the opposite ends of the country. Okay, so I'm trying to think what we did not cover, because I feel like I'm gonna get off and be like, oh, we didn't talk about this. Let's see. Please are announcing findings. Okay, so so looking forward to what's going to happen. We don't have a court date. I know that's super annoying, but a lot of us in the community have Pacer and get the notifications, and so we will know when something is filed. There's surely going to be a response from Saltz. It's inevitable. It's happening. We just don't know exactly when that's going to hit. But hopefully it'll be interesting to see the tone, whether it's changed or what it is, because think about how that's offensive. As an attorney, you're not just asking for sanctions for your hourly time, so your client doesn't have to pay for the time you spent on the filings, but it's also something that would mark him. So it's gotten more personal than it even was.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Very, very personal. And, I guess if we're going to, it's been 2 hours, if we're going to be,
I know we should
to wrapping this up, I would think that is what I would take away from this, as my opinion, is that the judge really doesn't play the game this way. I do believe that only this short period of time it's only been since Halloween, the day before Halloween, that, all of this back and forth that's going on, she cannot be too happy about the stuff that she's having to read and go in. And hopefully we can just get a opinion from the judge shortly on jurisdiction, and then maybe some of the real stuff can go back and forth. I don't know about the sanction part, whether, how the judge would lean, because unfortunately the book that I read that she did was only on the submission of electronic evidence.
Yeah.
And I know she takes that seriously. She does feel that's in her responsibility to set up how they should be doing this, what they should be doing it, to limit the scope of it to in some manner. I do hope that they resolve this issue with sanctions shortly, and that my real hope is that they just start communicating a little bit better. Even though it's quite entertaining, it is just making things a little too muddy for me. I can't keep things straight as much
definitely.
as I'd like. What do you think?
Well, I think that when jurisdiction, I would rather the judge rule on jurisdiction before the sanctions, because then the sanctions may never ever be ruled on, and Katie won't. She'll end up paying that 18 grand instead of the other side. So that's one opinion. Let's see. I also, if I were to give like a takeaway, I would say actions, not words, because I don't know if there's anything that I kind of have to hold myself accountable to. And then I look a lot at what Katie has done. Don't listen to someone's words. It's their actions. It's the same with what we say on Twitter. I mean, I can get pretty feisty on there, but if you're going to do something, if you say you're going to do something, let your actions match your words. And the same goes for someone who is constantly on social media and YouTube saying, oh, I don't know about the dark web. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. But then you see that maybe, her actions aren't matching those words. And so that's just always,
true. We know that. I mean, the girl lived in, I'm not going to name the names of the places she gets her little files on people about, but we all know she hangs out in those places and drops those files occasionally in Discords and Twitter.
Her sources.
Those are her sources, so just like, I know nothing about the dark web,
I know. But, it's funny.
Yeah.
Her hypocrisy, I mean, with that video we just watched, the hypocrisy just is oozing out of her pores, and it's just palpable. It's like she's so incredibly hypocritical. It's like everything she says, we can absolutely almost 100% say everything that woman says is the opposite. That's what we should take back,
Yeah.
So they're dealing with someone who's pathological, in my opinion, and it's going to be fun for us, with our popcorn. We get to report on it and talk about it and all that.
Definitely popcorn worthy. I like to stick to like the what, that's frustrating for a lot of people in right now watching the case, is that all of that behavior really doesn't matter to the defamation case. Actually,
right?
All these things that we know and that she does, routinely and whatever. We all want to just keep putting all of that out there. But if it isn't directly related to Toddy and anything that happened in regards to a stream about Toddy or accusation about Toddy or her husband, it's not really relevant. I don't think at this point right now. I'm not saying it won't be. Maybe just like if you're asked, then say,
because they're overwhelmed right now. It's overwhelming. So
overwhelming.
Yeah. A lot of stuff to look through. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say there was a question, just one more question I thought interesting, and I didn't want to ignore the person. It was from Diane McCall, and she, her question was that if she had found the IDs of the hacking and would beg for her name to get cleared and make my attorney work with salts. In other words, I think that what she's saying is that if she was KJ and was being accused of hacking and all this other stuff, or being tied into it, there should have been more said, maybe perhaps during the conference with the judge about finding out who it was. But I kind of agree that was all ignored. It seemed by the emails that Brown was not giving it the weight that any weight, actually. He kind of slid over it. He never really gave any weight to the fact that there was hacking and threats going on, only that anybody would think his client had anything to do with it. When some of the examples were actually using his email address and his client. And yet it wasn't addressed. But then again, we don't know Mr. Brown's style. He could have already been in contact with the FBI at the time. So I don't want to say that he wasn't bothered by it. I'm just thinking his approach was different. We never heard anything about it. I also know that, as Diane has said, that Katie was complaining about having to talk to the FBI about it. Like, why would you complain and cry about that being so bad when you should actually be searching for answers? Because your name is being, besmirched. It's being smirked upon here. They're kind of dragging you into it. You think you'd want to clear it up. You think you'd want to step forward and give them anything they need to get you out of it. Like,
I mean, you would think so. And that's another reason that the tone was so important in that hearing, because I'll say Brown was very cool as a cucumber, I would say. He kept his composure. He was very kind of slow-mo about things and practical. But I do remember hearing him say, that was KJ didn't do that. Katie didn't do that.
Right.
And it's like, how do you know that? I mean, how would you know what she does when you're not?
No, I think the standard answer would be, we're working with the FBI to find out who did it. But my client denies this, and we're going to find out who really did it, something like that.
Yeah. And the judge also is noteworthy that the judge was very sympathetic, to the family members who've been threatened. I know I've questioned that for months. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, this isn't a James Bond movie. Like, how is this pertinent to the case of defamation? But that's why I think, you guys, it's kind of one of those things where it'll sort of reveal itself at some point when there's answers that can actually be talked about.
Right. There's so much more. There's so much more.
I know,
we're going to have to. Yeah.
I know, we could go on forever. And this was actually a lot of fun. I was nervous. I wrote I felt like I was in college and I was writing all these papers. I'm like, because my nightmare is to be wrong about a fact or misquote somebody. So, but
you have all opinion here to go by. Like, we're trying to represent why we're forming certain opinions with facts and stuff like that. But, if there's anything that we have said that's not
let us know.
Or we misquoted a fact or anything like that. Just come to us and let us know. We'll correct anything. We do our best. We did a lot of research. We don't really. It's just all opinion, just like everybody who out there doing these kind of things. We just wanted to do a little different take on it with some things we hadn't heard other creators talking about yet. And just our regular interesting conversations that we have, because we're all talking about this. This is something that we might be talking about and coming from a different angle. I hope it was entertaining for you all. It was 2 hours and not that many of you skipped out on it. So I'm really appreciative of that. And to all of you who actually came and supported us and did the retweeting and tried to cheer us on. Hope it was entertaining, and we thank you for hanging out while we tried to work out the StreamYard and the screen sharing, because this is kind of new to both of us, and we want to have fun, and we're not experts. We'll tell you that right straight out. We're not professionals, are we, Heather?
No, by no means am I imperfect. It's fun to do, and it kind of opens up before there were no places to hang out. There are a couple channels that were the only ones to just hang out and kind of talk about theories and
right.
But now we all have a different take. So that's why it's fun to go to different channels and support each other. I mean, that's especially women supporting women. It really is. I know it sounds cliche and cheesy, but I do appreciate we had Charlotte in her stream yesterday did shout us out. She's been very kind. So have a lot of
generous. Right. We so appreciate you, Charlotte. She's a genuine creator. She really is. Yeah, she's very supportive, and everyone. And I can tell you, I'm a mod there. She supports so many creators that come in. She really does. She's so supportive, genuine. I'm so sorry that this, those of you that know that she's going through a hard time with all of this and getting targeted in some manners, and it doesn't seem fair because of all the people we know. She doesn't deserve that.
It's scary. Scary stuff.
It's scary, and we give you just as much support back, Charlotte. We do. there's so many, there's quite a few creators. I saw Comic Nut in there before.
Yeah, Comic Nut. We
yeah.
appreciate
And
everybody.
Dina Dangs was there. So many people with channels. It's Just Chat. Our friend Chastity was in there. Illuminati is in there. If I forget anybody, please don't be offended, because it's really hard to make the chat go all the way back to all of the people
I wish
chatting before. Yeah, I know. We can later. Actually, when it's over, we'll be able to go back and see all from the beginning. But to all of you that just hang out on Twitter with us or on the other YouTube channels, we really appreciate y'all coming in and supporting us in this manner. That's all I have to say about it. I'm going to leave it to you now, Heather.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I just don't know what I would do without you, because you've helped me so much, especially navigating during the stream. Thank you guys to people who have retweeted and supported us, and everybody for coming, because I'm just stoked any of you guys give a shit what we have to say. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know in the comments if you guys want us to do something else, or we did focus on one issue too much. And I wish I could leave us with a joke or something, but I guess we'll just,
I guess we'll just leave there. I just forgot to say thank you to Cheshire, who was also here and supported us. I can't wait to have more conversations and to watch what you do next, because your streams have been kick ass, girl. I really like it. Gaming Granny, thank you so much. She was very supportive on my last little ditty that I did, a little 5-minute PSA on charity. And, our little parody we did to open up my channel, which was just taking a nice little fun shot at characters that we all know and love. And that's all I'm going to say. You'll have to go watch it. Ha ha ha. Go watch it.
I know. Go if you guys aren't subbed to Claire. It's under Claire S. Bear, right? And then also Chesh, who has her streams are so interesting. We're supposed to do something on Saturday night. So check out, at least go look at her Twitter and her account. Cheshire Vic is what she's under. She's in the chat. So
and Charlotte's is just Charlotte, and many of you here, you're already there. I see all the names, these streams, but they all
so if we forgot anybody,
we're so sorry. Send me a DM. I'll apologize profusely. Try to get it right next time.
And for the next one. So we hope to do this once a week and kind of provide a different take. Sometimes we've got little juicy info bits that others may not have discovered. Claire's really good at finding those gems. So thanks you, Claire. She's good at that. All right.
No pressure, Heather. No pressure.
I know. Keep it up, damn it. I'm gonna crack the whip.
Oh my God. You see how the bear gets treated, people? Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Well, that bear can scare bear in 2 seconds flat. So
don't tell my secrets. Don't tell my secrets. Yeah.
All right, you guys. This was so much fun. We're gonna say bye, and then we'll see you guys next Thursday, right?
Yep. We're gonna try again for next Thursday.
Sounds great.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Awesome. Bye, kids.
Thank you, everyone.